Good afternoon to Warrior Field on the North Campus of the University of Waterloo. A beautiful and poignant ceremony to recognize National Day of Truth and Reconciliation before this one gets underway today. The Eagle Staff ceremony, always impactful, and especially so today. My name's Adam McGuire, alongside Yates Cup champion Jack Moore. And Jack, the ceremony's here, obviously a perfect way to kick off this day. Now, though, there is a football game, and both of these teams will be looking to try to turn themselves into a playoff contender. Guelph already maybe there by way of some of their play recently. 2 big wins in the last 2 weeks. Waterloo coming off their bye at 1-3, and they're looking to turn the corner here and claim their second win.
Yeah, well, for the Guelph Gryphons, it didn't really look good to start the season, did it, Adam? They came out of the gate. They beat Toronto, but then a couple bad losses in there. And for the Guelph Gryphons, everybody said, well, they went 1-7 last year. Is this what we should expect from this team this season? But then they come back, they bounce back, a big win against York. That close game against McMaster, so difficult to win those close games and really turn the balance of power between the Gryphons and the Marauders when it comes to the OUA standings, because McMaster last weekend had to go play against the Laurier Golden Hawks and lose 36-9. Guelph sits here now 3-2. They're in 4th behind the 3 teams who are 5-0. We're only going to have 2 teams undefeated after today, with Western and Windsor playing each other. But for the Guelph Gryphons, I think that this is a big game for them to solidify themselves, to get a home playoff game in the OUA standings. And for the Waterloo Warriors, you look, Queens is 1-3, McMaster's 1-4. You have a chance right now, if you're the Waterloo Warriors, to put yourself back into playoff contention and playoff mentality if you can pick up a win on home field against a Guelph team that's been up and down throughout the course of this season.
Yeah, the Warriors will kick it off here. One thing Chris Bertoya told me earlier this week is they're not even uttering the P word, playoffs, in the locker room. They're trying to take this one game and 1 week at a time. But as you said, Jack, you know, Waterloo's first half of their schedule before the bye, absolutely the tougher of the 2 halves in the season. 2 of their 4 opponents so far are 5-0, the Laurier Golden Hawks and the Windsor Lancers, of course. This half for the Warriors kickoff here could be a big turning point for them as a program as they look to get their second win. Oh, a little onside action, bouncing ball, and it looks like the Gryphons have it. Trying to catch things off on the first kickoff. I think it's Mason Duval with the recovery for Guelph. So that'll give the Gryphons a short field, and Waterloo will lean on the defense here early on.
Well, that's just great mindset from Jesse Alexander, special teams coordinator, linebacker coach for this Waterloo Warriors team. Sees the Guelph Gryphons playing 13 yards off the ball, so they do a squib kick up the middle, so close to recovering it, but now Guelph starts a good field positioning at their own 47-yard line. Tristan
Aboud and the Guelph offense. This is where they'll start. The handoff is to Malloy, and really nothing there for Donovan Malloy, who's had a great second season. He's averaging 110.4 yards a game. He's got 3 touchdowns on the ground. Of course, exploded last week in that big win against York, did Malloy.
It's a great job by James Hinsberger stepping up, filling the gap, not allowing Malloy to shift inside the hole and bounce it outside. So a 2nd and long here for the Gryphons after the gain of 1.
Warrior in a 40 front, 2nd and 9. Aboud to throw. Aboud flushed out. Guess who? It's Tyson Hergott. He was there first. Coming up with him there, I believe, was Kyle Dottie. And the 2 Warriors get to the quarterback, Aboud. He had to just get rid of it before he was sacked for a loss. It's a 2-and-out for Guelph.
Great zone coverage there by the Warriors. They're seeing all the receivers. Guelph going with a hooks concept, so they're trying to get to the line to gain, sit at 10 yards because it was 2nd and 9. Waterloo doing a good job of playing underneath and over top of that, and just not enough time for Tristan Aboud as the pocket collapses. Tyson Hergott steps in. Aboud was able to get it away, so no sack on the play on the incompletion, but a great job pinning the ears back of this Waterloo defensive line. We talked earlier in the year, the strength of this defense is in the front 7 for Waterloo.
Gabriel Canabrava into punt. Oh, pardon me, that's Gardiero into punt. A high one that Justin Sukar will field at his own 11-yard line. Sukar tries to cut back up the middle and is met there by 3 Gryphons. So excellent coverage there on the punt. A good punt from Gardiero, and the Warriors are backed up.
Yeah, 50 yards in the air, and then just a 5-yard return there for Justin Sukar, so that opening field position battle is starting to go the way of the Gryphons because of the attempted onside kick early on that Waterloo thought they could recover. But now a tough Guelph defense going up against this Waterloo offense with Nick Orr in at quarterback, trying to find their footing. But this three-man front for the Guelph Gryphons, so difficult to run against.
So Orr to throw. He's flushed out and will go to his left. Orr still with it, and will turn the corner to gain about 3 maybe on first down. And Nick Orr, after the bye week, head coach Chris Bertoya said, they didn't do a lot of install this week. It was really back to basics. They said the simple concepts are the ones that seem to be the most effective, so that's what they're going to try to empower this offense to do. And there, Nick Orr just pulled it down when he didn't see anything, got out of the pocket and gained 3.
Orr wanted a quick hitch to the field side. Defensive backs playing up. Good job just turning off to his left and picking up as much as he can. Second and just into long territory.
Anthony Miller, the lone setback. He'll take the handoff. He's got a hole. Anthony Miller lowers the shoulder. He's got a first down. Gain of about 12 on 2nd down and 7. That'll move the sticks for Waterloo.
Pros and cons of going with the three-man front. Pro of going with the three-man front, you have 3 big guys up there who can eat offensive linemen, but when the offensive linemen are able to climb into the second level and get their hands on linebackers, and you have that pulling H-back coming around and through the hole, tons of room for Anthony Miller. Great job by this Waterloo offensive line, who's going to be tested all day with this solid front for the Guelph Gryphons. 2
of the top 4 rushing teams in the OUA coming in to this one. Here's Miller again with the handoff. And again on first down, a good run. Gain of 6, maybe 7 on first down for the Warriors.
Well, that's another situation where we see that time Waterloo's offensive line eaten up by those 3 down linemen for the Guelph Gryphons, but they were still able to climb up the field. That muddies it up for the linebackers. They have guys coming at them. They still have to read the play before they know what happens. Miller gains 7 yards, and it's 2nd and 3.
Orr will waggle and send the motion. Handoff is to Sukar. There's a flag down. It looked like someone moved. I don't know on what side of the line of scrimmage. We'll have to see. It's enough right now for a first down. It looks right at the marker.
Yeah, there was a little bit of movement from both sides, and Waterloo that time trying to get the jet sweep outside, and Justin Sukar, as he tries to turn the corner, sees that he's getting that block with outside leverage, so he cuts it back in and picks up the first down, but we will see what the call is, and it looks like it might be against the Warriors here. Or no, sorry, this looks like it's going against the Gryphons, so it's an automatic first down.
Yeah, you're right, Jack. It is against the Gryphons. There was twitching on both sides of the line. And always the conversation then is who first and who drew who first.
Defensive linemen can move, but as soon as they go in the neutral zone and the offensive lineman moves, that's an infraction against the defense. The defensive lineman, if he moves but he's not into the neutral zone, Waterloo declines the penalty. It didn't really matter. It was a gain of 4. It would have been 5 yards, so they give Sukar the rush on the play. But Waterloo taking advantage here and doing a good job starting this drive at their own 15, now up to the 42. Some solid play on the ground here. No passing plays yet through the air, and they've gotten all this yardage on the ground.
And if nothing else, have kind of erased the field position that was due to the onside attempt as Anthony Miller goes off tackle to the left. He's leveled there, but a gain of about 3.5 or 4.
It's a good job by Malcolm James stepping up from that boundary corner spot, laying the boom, but it's after a gain of 4 yards, so 2nd and manageable here for the Waterloo Warriors. And what you like to see in these situations, especially with Cole Crosset as your punter, if you're the Waterloo Warriors, keep going with it as an injured Gryphon on the field.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate here, Jack, but I'm not sure who that was, but he dropped as soon as the Gryphons were trying to make a substitution and Waterloo was hurrying up. So, again, all conjecture, but he looked to the sideline and saw, I believe it was Curtis Woodmansey trying to race on and dropped to a knee. So
So 2nd and 6 here for Waterloo. Really effective on the ground so far. I'd expect them to keep that up here. I don't expect them to put too much pressure on Nick Orr early in the game. We talked to Chris Bertoya a couple weeks ago before the game against the York Lions. They said the best way to get a young quarterback into the rhythm of a game is setting up a good ground game. Anthony Miller's done a good job. You have a great back in Quentin Springer as your 1-2 punch, the rookie for this Waterloo Warriors team. So for Waterloo right now, it's really about trying to get your footing. And again, like I said, you're up to the 46-yard line. You have Cole Crossett, who's one of the better punters in the OUA. Like, you're comfortable punting from this position and trying to flip some field positioning. I would keep going with what's effective. Wear down this Gryphons defense. You don't have to put points on the board early in this game. You just need to wear them down, make them second-guessed into the second, third, fourth quarter, and then you get your yardage in the second half. And that's typically what we see. Good rushing teams don't get all their rushing yards on the first drive. They wear defenses down. They keep them on the field, moving the ball effectively, which Waterloo has done here, and now face 2nd and 6 to keep this drive alive.
Josh Campbell was the injured Gryphon. He's up on his own power, which is good. Also important to note, a hot day today here, and the sun just beats down on this field, so we'll watch for that. Handoff is to Miller. Miller through the line into the secondary. A first down across midfield into Guelph territory. Anthony Miller with another big rush on 2nd down and mid.
Well, the Gryphons know that they're going to run the football there. Everybody expected it, so Guelph pins their ears back. They get up the field, and it wasn't a big push by the Waterloo offensive line, but it's leverage. I get you pushed outside so Miller can go inside, and that's what we saw right in the hole. He hits the hole, he gets into open space, he explodes for a first down. Great job by the Warriors running back.
So 1st and 10 on the Guelph 51. Handoff again to Miller. Miller again. A good gain on first down. That's about 8 on 1st down and 10.
Well, he's even doing that time where he's outrunning his pullers. He has a puller coming around. The guard is coming around to kick out the defensive end. Backside tackle's coming around the hole, and as the tackle's coming up, Anthony Miller just sees space, and he takes it for a gain of 8.
2nd and 2. It's a pullout there by Orr, and now Orr's going to run, and Orr dives ahead for a first down. Maybe a couple of anxious moments there as he went down, and a helmet looked really close to the ball there, but Orr held onto it and pulled that through, that handoff out of Miller's number 0 and took off himself.
It's a great job on the recognition by Nick Orr. You'd love to see him slide down, be aware of where the line to gain was there, though.
Handoff again to Miller. This time Miller stood up and stopped for a modest gain of about 3. Might have been the veteran linebacker Brandon Farigo in there on the stop. That's somebody that head coach Chris Bertoya and this Warriors offense has circled for sure.
Yeah, this Guelph Gryphons defense have guys that can play all over the field. A lot of great athletes on the field on the defensive side of the ball, and Waterloo's doing a good job of just winning the leverage game at this point on the ground. Again, they haven't attempted a pass yet in this game, but they're already down to the Guelph 29-yard line on 2nd and 7 here.
Orr, little fake. Oh, he pulled it out. Orr still with it. Orr is going to go to the end zone deep. It's going to be too far out of the reach of Sukar. Justin Sukar was there as well as Ramel Samuel Slocum, so that'll bring up 3rd down after a promising drive, and Cole Crossett will come on to attempt a field goal.
Well, hey, Quentin Springer, you're a rookie in the OUA. I bet you felt that one pretty good. They go with the fake draw, the play action on the draw. Nick Orr pulls it out, and as he rolls to his right, one-on-one coverage, cover 0 over top for the Gryphons, but a great job by their defensive backs there, Malcolm James and Devin Cromwell, the boundary side corner and a halfback for this Guelph Gryphons team, covering down effectively, and now a 36-yard attempt from Cole Crossett.
James Basiliga to hold. Hold is down, kick is up, kick is wide to the right through the back of the end zone, so that'll give the Warriors a 1-0 lead, less than they'd anticipated. But Jack, we're talking off air here before the start of this one about the troubles Waterloo has had starting games. On the scoreboard, that's not what they wanted, but certainly a drive that they can build on here in the first quarter.
Well, now Guelph is going to have to start to make some adjustments. Okay, they're running the ball effectively. How do we stop the run? Is that going to be we're going to bring more pressure? Is that going to mean that we're going to bring an 8th guy into the box? Does that mean we're going to play with 4 down defensive linemen and Waterloo can start to exploit it with what they see on the front? It's going to be a little bit tougher with a younger quarterback, but now this Waterloo defense back on the field after forcing a 2-and-out last drive.
Handoff is to Malloy and met pretty much at the line of scrimmage, but rolling forward for a gain of 2 yards was Malloy. Maybe a gain of 3. It's Tyson Hergott again on the tackle. And early on in this one, Guelph's offensive line, not a lot of answers for number 9 in gold.
Yeah, Tyson Hergott really having his way. Playing to the near side of your screen down at the bottom. It's Tristan Aboud, another young quarterback in the OUA, has another 2nd and long.
He'll pull it and run himself. He's taken down by 3 Warriors. First was Aleko. Trevon Halstead in on the tackle too, but Jethro Aleko from the linebacker spot met Aboud first, and another 2-and-out for Guelph. That's 2 in a row here to start for the Gryphon offense.
Yeah, really couldn't have started much better if you're the Waterloo Warriors defensively. Obviously, you talked about wanting to get points on the board, but Tristan Aboud pulls that one himself, tries to follow Malloy for the lead block, but just can't pick up the first down, so the Gryphons have to punt this one away again. And
I think Guelph's going to call a timeout, yeah.
Have to call a timeout. They're confused with their punt team alignment. Seems like they have the right amount of guys on the field. They just didn't know how to line up. So a couple of mistakes here in the first quarter and a slow start for the Gryphons. Waterloo is back deep to return this one, trying to get the ball back. And again, just attempting one pass on that first drive that fell incomplete, but effectively running the ball against the Gryphons here early on and trying to do it again.
We'll also mention, by the way, a good time to mention Guelph without a pretty significant weapon on their offense as well. Vashon Janusis, who last year went for 8 catches and 160 yards and a pair of touchdowns in Guelph's 41-35 win here at Warrior Field. Missing this one, out of the game. He was injured last week against York.
It's really going to fall to Kane Stevenson in the passing game to get things done effectively for the Gryphons today.
End-over-end punt from Guardiero, fielded there by Sukar. Justin Sukar, can he get to the outside? Justin Sukar does. Flag is down. And so there was a bit of a chip that was kind of borderline as we saw here as Sukar tried to get the edge. I don't know if it was that one or another one, but probably a block in the back here against Waterloo.
Yeah, the tough part is what they really want to get away from on those plays is when Justin Sukar is returning the ball from left to right and you have a peel back block. So you have a guy going from right to left, turning around and trying to hit a defender, and I really think that that's ultimately what's going to get in the way. You can get in the way, you can screen him, but as soon as you put your hands on him, the referee has every right to pull that flag out and throw it. Now, they are having a conference because it was a referee who was farther away from the ball and there was a ref closer to it who didn't throw the flag, but they ultimately decide they're going to call it. And it is going to be holding against Waterloo, so it wasn't that peel back block that we saw. But it is a 10-yard penalty, so the Warriors will start at their own 24-yard line to start this drive, but they started at their own 15 last time and had the ball down at the Guelph 29. So moving the ball effectively, and again, you'd like to see Waterloo continue with that as they go with Quentin Springer on drive number 2.
The rookie Springer out of Jacob Hespler in Cambridge. He and Anthony Miller have shared the carries for most of this opening couple of games. Here's Springer on his first run to the left and a gain of about 15 on 1st and 10.
Well, it just feels like Guelph is condensing down at the line of scrimmage. Everybody is working to the inside gap, and so when they get all the bodies muddied up in there, again, Waterloo not getting a ton of push down the field, but they're getting the leverage that they need, and we have skilled running backs in Anthony Miller and Quentin Springer who can read that and cut so effectively so quickly. They can bounce it outside, and that's what we saw in the gain of 15 there for the Warriors.
So Springer remains in. It's 1st and 10 for Waterloo. Little counter from Springer. Springer bounces through some traffic, picks up 3, maybe 4 out to the, now they're going to call it 3, to the Waterloo 44-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Waterloo here as Guelph tries to make some personnel adjustments on the 2nd and long.
Well, and this is really where Guelph early on in this game, first down is going to be the most important down to win. You can force a 2nd and long. You're going to have to force Nick Orr to throw the football. And if I'm Guelph right now, I'm going to make the young quarterback try and beat me through the air instead of being beaten on the ground like I have been early in this first quarter.
Orr doesn't see what he likes, so he's going to take off, track down before he gets to the first down, though. Might have been Max Holmes on the stop.
Jack Cobb was in there as well, and it seemed like the Gryphons had a bit of a spy on Nick Orr in that situation. They know he likes to run it, and Chris Bertoya is going to keep his offense out 3rd and 2 from their own 49-yard line.
So aggression right away from Waterloo, 3rd and 2. Springer on the cutback, he's got it and then some. Quentin Springer, a big gain on 3rd down and 2, and the chains move. Waterloo retains possession as the aggression from head coach Chris Bertoya, offensive coordinator Brandon Conway, and the Warriors staff earns them a 1st down and again into Guelph territory.
When you're so effective at beating somebody straight up, they're going to believe you when they step that way. That time they go to a counter, nobody over there for the Guelph Gryphons, and a big 1st down for Waterloo.
Orr pulls out this time. A little bit of a high throw on 1st down. Intended recipient was Zach Parmley, the H-back, getting a start today, and it was just a little too high for Parmley. Otherwise, it would have been a good gain on 1st down of 6 or 7. Instead, it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
I don't think Parmley had the separation from the line of scrimmage that Nick Orr was looking for when he pulled that one away. I think he thought he was going to leak out a little farther into the secondary, and by the time Orr was in the middle of that throw, he realized that Parmley was a little bit shorter than he was, just unable to bring it in 2nd and long. But again, a win on 1st down for Guelph. Now can they get a stop with the ball at their own 48?
2nd and 10, another passing down here, but Miller's back in. Orr to throw. Oh, nearly intercepted. Diving to get a hand on that was Anakin Guthrie, and Guelph now forces Waterloo to punt.
And this is what I mean when I'm talking about Guelph winning 1st down. Those 2 plays, Nick Orr not showing you that he can effectively beat you through the air. So on the flip side of that, if I'm Waterloo, I'm looking at that drive, I'm not doing anything but run on 1st down because that's where I've gotten all my yardage in this game, and I'm going to try and get myself into more manageable passing situations if I'm the Waterloo offense.
Here's Crossett, nearly lost control of the snap, but he got it away before blocked. A good kick out to the 10. This is Guthrie on the return. It was Duval, pardon me, on the return. I think 32, not 37. And a decent return after Crossett got that one away. Punt just kind of went through his hands and hit him in the chest.
Yeah, there was a good snap by Weddle, the long snapper, and Crossett just let it hit his chest, but he didn't fumble it. He got it away. And Lafoucaide was coming off the edge trying to get a hand on it. He might have got a piece, but Guelph pushed back inside their own 25 here.
And off to Malloy. Again, not much doing there as Guelph struggles to establish the running game. It's a gain of 2.5 or 3 on 1st down, so it'll be a 2nd and long again.
Well, so this is where we talked about Waterloo winning the leverage game, where they're just getting to the right spot to allow the holes to open up. If I'm Guelph, what I've seen in the first 2 drives, I'm telling my offensive line, it's not about the leverage game for us. We have to out-physical them. We have to just drive them off the ball and be more physical in their face to try and gain yards on the rushing attacks.
Forward progress stopped after a 4-yard gain, so 2nd and 6. Aboud to throw. Aboud pulled down by one arm. I believe it's Tyson Hergott again. It is. Tyson Hergott with one hand engaged on the blocker, grabs Tristan Aboud, pulls him back from the scramble, and it's another 2 and out. My goodness, Jack, the impact early on that Tyson Hergott has had in this game.
I mean, sometimes you can chalk things up to schematics and the way that you execute a play call, and sometimes you just have a guy that's better than the guy he's facing. Tristan Aboud did the right thing there. He steps up in the pocket. Not a lot of young quarterbacks want to do that, and reaching around an offensive lineman and single-handedly pulling down a 6'4" quarterback in Tyson Hergott. Unbelievable feat there from the Waterloo defensive lineman.
Short punt. Flag is down, and Sukar caught it on the fly. He's hit out of bounds as well. No flag flew there. as Sukar came up and caught that short punt off the foot of Nicholas Gardiero. So no yards would be the first call.
Yeah, that's definitely what the penalty is going to be. Short punt from the Guelph punter, who's struggling a little bit in warm-ups. And it's a good job by Sukar, because even if that ball hits your shoulder in the air before it hits the ground and falls to the ground and that guy's inside the 5-yard halo, it's still a 15-yard penalty even if Guelph recovers and your team still gets the ball. It's a great job, a more veteran returner, but it's something, when you talk about special teams, not a lot of young kids know this about the Canadian game, so it's something that you have to teach. Great teachable moment there for some of the younger guys coming through this Waterloo program. Definitely something Jesse Alexander should mention in film tomorrow when they're talking about this game, is the awareness, because even if he dropped that ball and Guelph recovers, still Waterloo ball on the Guelph 43-yard line. So great field positioning here for the Waterloo Warriors, thanks to their defense, who have been on fire in the first 13 minutes of this game.
2 minutes and change to play here in the first quarter. Handoff is to Miller. On first down, Miller busts through and gains 8 on first down. The rushing attack for Waterloo once again.
Well, see, and this is what I mentioned on the last drive. Why are we doing anything else but running the football on first down if you're the Waterloo offensive coaching staff? We're going to run the ball, we're going to run the ball, we're going to run the ball until you prove that you can stop us on 1st and 10. And we're going to get ourselves into 2nd and 2, because now you have short pass options available to you and you still have the running game that's been so effective.
Handoff again to Miller. Miller jumps through a couple of would-be tacklers and gains about 7. That'll move the sticks once again here as we're under 90 seconds to play in the first quarter.
And this is where play callers can get greedy. And everybody does it when you're calling plays in football. We're running the ball effectively. We're running the ball effectively. We're running the ball effectively. So we should take our shot now. A lot of people don't trust themselves to keep moving the ball on the ground. Waterloo just needs to keep punching it through this Guelph defense on the ground, who seemingly haven't made adjustments to it yet.
Miller again. Miller again with a hole. And again, Jack, as you said, on first down, to win first down by the margin that Waterloo's winning it right now has been a huge factor in the early goings here.
Yeah, and that one, again, it was the leverage game. They didn't get a big push. They just got their bodies in the right position. Sometimes when you're not as physically gifted as the person that you're playing across from, if you can just get in their way long enough to allow Anthony Miller to make plays in the secondary, that's all you need. And again, 2nd and manageable here. Whole play calling sheet is open for the Waterloo Warriors.
2nd and 3. Little counter from Miller again. Miller is tracked down, but not until he reaches first down. There is a flag down on the field. He did reach the line to gain. He was tackled by Farigo from behind. Let's see, though, what this is. This is in the vicinity of offside or procedural. I think it's offside against Guelph, Jack.
It looked like both referees who came in from the sidelines, who had both had their flag thrown, were saying it was against the Guelph Gryphons. So you're taking the run if you're Chris Bertoya and declining the penalty, which is what's happening here. So even then, Guelph jumps offside. They have a free guy coming off the edge, but because of the space that's created, Waterloo's offensive line not getting greedy. They're just playing sound alignment football. Allow that guy to come off the edge, but Anthony Miller hits that fast, and now all of a sudden he's 5 yards down the field before a guy gets a hand on him. And again, another negative side effect is Guelph puts 4 guys on the line of scrimmage now instead of 3.
So 1st and 10 on the 16. Orr will throw to the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Justin Sukar. Warriors with a major here. Under 15 seconds to play in the first quarter. Waterloo on the board.
So there's a little bit of cat and mouse there, because Guelph lines up with 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. Right as the receivers go into motion on the waggle, that defensive end backs up. Woodmansey bounces to the outside, so you see that traditional look from this Guelph defense. And Orr does a good job seeing guys over the middle, puts it on a perfect spot with Sukar having a defender on his back hip, able to make the catch and then extend to get it past the line of scrimmage to get into the end zone.
Extra point through to make it 8-0 with 11.6 seconds left in this first quarter. And Jack, the way this first quarter went, you know, it's kind of a tale of 2 sidelines here. If that score had remained 1-0 and the Gryphons were able to hold Waterloo out of the end zone, all of a sudden it's like we don't have a first down yet and we're still, you know, down maybe 4. But to score that touchdown, it's a bit of a discouraging backbreaker for Guelph as far as backbreakers in a first quarter can go. To now look up at the scoreboard and say, okay, it is Waterloo got a major. They punched it in. It's 8-0. We don't have a first down. The sense of urgency maybe changes a little bit on that Guelph sideline.
Well, and I think you just have to go and say, what can we do to be more effective here? Because clearly the script didn't work. What you had planned out all week when you were preparing for this game, it didn't work. Waterloo's beating you in every facet of this football game so far. So you have to take a look at what Waterloo's giving you. They're running the football. You have to focus on stopping the run. Offensively, you have to try and get Tristan Aboud going here if you're the Guelph Gryphons.
Fielded by Kyle Simon Guerin inside his own 5. And spinning out to about the 21-yard line, maybe the 20. That's where he stopped. So good coverage by Waterloo here. And Guelph will run one more offensive play starting from their own 20 here at the end of the first quarter.
And again, you don't have to do something big here at the end of the first quarter. You just have to get some positive yardage, put yourself in second and manageable because you've been in second and long with your young quarterback on this Warriors defensive line that's had a field day with the Guelph offensive line led by Tyson Hergott.
Last play of the first quarter. Aboud will pull it out, dodges one possible tackle, will go long down the sideline, and it is out of bounds, but a flag flies. They're calling it a catch. Did he get his feet down? Okay, lots happening here. Warriors nearly got to Aboud. Again, Aboud rolled out to his right, went down the sideline. I think it was Jordan Travis in coverage. It will be a pass interference call that'll likely be declined because I think the pass catch was made.
No, the referee who threw the flag waved his arms but didn't make a signal on what happened.
Oh, now they're saying, so incomplete maybe is the call.
So it's outside 15 yards, so it's a 15-yard penalty. And because it's a defensive penalty on the last play of the quarter, we'll have one more play before the second quarter starts. But that's just a great job by Tristan Aboud. Keyshawn Bowen coming off the edge, filling the gap. Aboud spins away from the pressure, enough speed to get away from Halstead, and then putting it in a spot where only his receiver can go and get it. Doesn't make the catch, but draws the pass interference. It's a good job from the young Guelph quarterback.
Yeah, decent coverage by Jordan Travis, I think, but he didn't get his head around. So an easy call to make here. It's Guelph's first down via penalty. And again in the backfield, it's Malloy that's stuffed. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage on first down. That time I think it may have been Trevon Halstead in the backfield. And that will do it for the first quarter. So Guelph with a 2nd and 11 here to start the second quarter when we come back after this on OUA TV.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
Welcome back to Warrior Field on the North Campus of the University of Waterloo to start the second quarter. Waterloo up on Guelph 8-0. Adam McGuire and Jack Moore with you. Guelph facing a 2nd and 11 here. Out of town, we've just got the update, Jack. Western leads Windsor 5-3 after a quarter in a battle of undefeateds in the OUA. Little delay draw here to Malloy, and Malloy's got a first down. Malloy's still on his feet down the sideline. There goes Donovan Malloy. Broke a tackle. Touchdown, Gryphons.
Well, and that's exactly what the Guelph Gryphons needed to start quarter number 2. 2nd and 11. They go to an old reliable play. Teams usually like going to that draw. Waterloo takes the outside gaps. Their defensive tackles go to the B gaps. Defensive ends go to the C gaps. They have 2 offensive linemen who aren't blocking anybody. They actually turned around like, did this get blown up in the backfield? Did we miss something? Jethro Aleko can't make the tackle. Malloy gets a big block down the field. And the Guelph Gryphons all of a sudden respond, and they'll keep their offense on the field to go for 2 and try and tie this game just 19 seconds in to the second quarter.
Donovan Malloy, we've seen earlier this season, he can break off big ones. We saw the pull-away speed on that one too, Jack, as Malloy ripped that one down the right sideline. A 76-yard touchdown run from Malloy. So the Gryphons go for 2. Aboud tries to step up and will throw incomplete. So Waterloo will maintain the slight edge here and get the offense back on the field. We got the stats for the first quarter, Jack, and we were going to talk about Waterloo's rushing disparity against Guelph. 16 for 126 on the ground for Waterloo in that first quarter for Guelph. 5 carries for just 10 yards. And then flipping it on its head in the first play of the second quarter was Donovan Malloy's 76-yard scamper.
Yeah, all of a sudden one play can change how you view those stats. But Waterloo, it doesn't change any way that their offense approaches how they've been going about it. 7.9 yards per carry in the first half. 16 carries for 126 yards in that first quarter. So the Waterloo Warriors getting the ball back now after Guelph will kick it off from their own 45. Looking to just keep things rolling with how they did in the first half. Played a very, very good first half. They had a missed field goal. They put the ball in the end zone. Things were looking up for the Warriors in the first quarter, I should say. And now going back to offense.
Low lining kickoff goes all the way into the end zone. Sukar's got to try to track it down. Bobbles it, so he's going to have to give up the 1. So real good long, low line drive kick off the foot of Gabriel Canabrava, and Guelph went for 2, failed, but got the 1 there on the kickoff.
Well, and that's a great kickoff by the Gryphons. 2 deep returners playing outside the hashes, and they hit a low line driving kick in between the hash marks, right in between them. Not enough time for the returner to get under it. It rolls to the back of the end zone, and because Sukar can't field it cleanly, he just has to take a knee. That's another good job by Sukar, who a lot of young returners try and run that one out, create more than what's actually there, which can lead to turnovers. It can lead to fumbles, which would be a defensive touchdown. So the Waterloo Warriors getting some good return play from Justin Sukar, and they'll start 1st and 10 on their own 35, up 1.
Handoff is to Springer this time. Springer with some room. Now Springer to the outside, has to dodge a block and plunge ahead. Couldn't really cut up the way he wanted to, but still gains about 8 on first down, did Quentin Springer.
Yeah, they'll give him 9 on the play, and that's one where Quentin Springer, when he made that jump cut to the outside, all of a sudden all his momentum stopped. And you're a young running back, what their coaches will teach him, drive forward, pick up as much yardage as possible. That's better than coming to a complete stop.
Springer on 2nd down and short will gain it out to the Waterloo 50. So the Warriors continue to run the ball effectively here against Guelph.
2 different styles of pulling from this Waterloo team here in the first half. The first style that they have is the guard tackle pull. The other one, which we just saw, is Parmley coming as the backside puller to come in and around the hole. So as he gets up the field, you have a guy who's a little bit smaller but still a big body coming around one-on-one with the linebacker and gives a big block for the gain of 6 and the first down for Waterloo. 2 carries for 15 yards to start this second quarter for the Warriors.
Springer with it again. That one blown up by the Gryphon defensive front. A loss of 3 for Quentin Springer as Guelph finally has an answer for Waterloo's run game here. It's going to be second and long, second and about 14 here for Waterloo.
Yeah, Woodmansey just gets to the front side of the tackle's face and then drives himself up the field. So that's where we talk about leverage. But when you get on the wrong side of that leverage, if you're the tackle who's being out-physicaled at the line of scrimmage, that's where it becomes a problem. And Woodmansey, well, he might not get credit for the tackle. He caused that play to lose 3 yards.
You're going to call it second and 13 here for Waterloo. Orr will roll to his right. Orr still with it. Now he'll tuck and run. Orr takes one hit, now another one. He's brought down after a gain of about 5 on second down, and you would think this will bring out Waterloo's punt team. We saw Chris Bertoya be aggressive on 3rd and 2, but not necessarily on 3rd and what would be about 8.
Yeah, Nick Orr, big body, 6'3", 220. So when he has run in the past, he's been physically dominant over players. You get to the OUA, you got linebackers that are the same size, if not bigger than you. So he's taken a lot of hits early on in this game, and another coaching point if you're the Warriors, you need to tell him to get down. Even that play, he was never picking up the first down there. Roll out, throw it out of bounds, get yourself out clean.
Cole Crossett punt will be fielded at about the 20-yard line. That's by Anakin Guthrie, and Guthrie up the sideline. The ball came out, but he was out of bounds already. So Guthrie on a modest return out to about the 32-yard line of the Gryphons. That's where Guelph will take over.
Well, and so for the Guelph Gryphons, it's easy to get lulled into, hey, we were effective on offense. Well, you were 2nd and 11, and you hit a 76-yard draw play for a touchdown. You need to find what's going to be effective for you and try and see where Waterloo's alignment's at to go and attack them here on 1st and 10. Again, you have to win on 1st down if you're the Gryphons.
Hand off to Malloy, and again no gain, maybe a yard as Malloy tries to go off tackle to the left. May have been Justin Geck, the Waterloo native, on the stop there.
Yeah, big stop, and again, winning 1st down, now 2nd and long. So Aboud, who's shown a lot of poise. We saw it on that 2-point conversion where he stayed in the pocket as long as he could before he got that ball out, but now has to make something happen here on 2nd and long.
True freshman Aboud out of Calgary. Aboud looks to throw middle of the field. Knocked away. What a play by Diego Arenas. The ball was in and out of the hands of Jacob Thomas, and Arenas, the all-rookie safety from a year ago, came up, separated the receiver from the football.
It's a tough ask of a receiver to make that catch in that part of the field, but unfortunately, that's the job. If you're Thomas, you have to make that catch. That moves the sticks, keeps your offense on the field. Great job again. Tristan Aboud standing strong in the pocket. Pressure is collapsing in on him. He sees where the misalignment from the defense is, throws it over the middle to Thomas. You got to make that catch if you're the receiver to keep your offense on the field.
So the Gryphons on to punt here. This is Guardiero just inside his own 20. Flag comes down now. One bounce at Sukar at his own 39. Sukar on the return. Let's see what the flag is. It was 3rd down and 9.5. So if it's against Waterloo, you wouldn't think it would be an automatic 1st down, depending on the foul.
Well, but if
it's on Guelph.
It is against Guelph. If I'm Chris Bertoya, I'm declining the penalty. Not a great punt. You're up over your 45, but Bertoya is going to keep it. I wouldn't want to allow. It wasn't a good punt, so I wouldn't want to allow Guelph to try it again, to get a good one off. Not a lot of wind here today, but if it is going, it's going at the back of the Gryphons right now. We've seen some miss hits here from the Gryphons on punt team. So Guerrero gets another chance here to get this one off. But if he gets his boot under it, Guelph could realistically pin Waterloo inside their own 40 when they had it up at the 46. Sometimes it's just best to take what the other team gives you, but if it works out for Waterloo, then there's a reason why Chris Bertoya is the head coach and I'm up here.
We will see what the workout is. Oh, a bad snap. And about the same type of punt. This one caught in the air by Basiliga and James Basiliga. So it did turn out well for the Warriors, a little over midfield by about a yard. And near disaster for Guelph as the snap was a little low.
Yeah, and then, you know, I guess obviously Chris Bertoya sees something with this Guelph punt unit that I've seen, and it's just not very effective. They're not getting long punts off. They're not flipping the field. He had a low snap. Now, there wasn't a lot of pressure from Waterloo. They were setting up a return, and they got one of about 10 yards on that one. But they start just 54 yards away from the end zone for Nick Orr and this rushing attack that's been so good today for the Warriors.
It's Miller back in the backfield. It's going to be offside against Guelph, I think, as I think it's Farigo that jumped. It was You're right, Jack. It was Alcalde who jumped. Yusuf Alcalde on the defensive line.
Yeah, field side defensive end. He was on the bottom of your screen there, and he moved early, and he's the one who made the tackle in the backfield. So Guelph trying to get a jump, but it's a 5-yard penalty, now 1st and 5, and really opens up the playbook. You can kind of throw away a play here on 1st down if you're Waterloo. So I would look at a play-action shot here if I'm the Warriors on 1st and 5, because Guelph safeties are playing up inside 10 yards here. Take a shot with Anthony Miller in play action.
4 receivers to Orr's left. He's going to roll. Cross his body. He's going to go deep. Samuel Slocum is there through his hands, but it's going to be pass interference. Miles Lafoucade was there on the coverage, and the tug of the jersey of Ramel Samuel Slocum is going to move the chains again on a 1st down and 5 and give Waterloo a 1st down via penalty.
Well, it's interesting, too, because you could call Samuel Slocum for a bit of a push-off, trying to create some separation.
Yeah, great point here. Let's see what they're going to call. It is going to be against Guelph.
Well, and the Gryphons have a reason to be upset, and if it had gone the other way, the Warriors had a reason to be upset. That's one of those plays where both guys are pass interference, falls incomplete. You could probably keep that flag in your pocket and just allow the play to develop. You saw there, though, Campbell came in almost untouched from that Waterloo defensive line. That's where I like the play action on that, because you get him stopping his feet, stuttering, trying to honor the run play, which is burn this Guelph defense. So that slows him down, doesn't force Nick Orr to roll out to his left, his offside. But now they get a 1st down anyhow on the 15-yard penalty against the Gryphons. And
it was a well-positioned ball across his body from Orr as he hands off this one to Anthony Miller. Gains about 8 on 1st down.
And it's a good job. You have a big physical back in Anthony Miller. Everybody blocks down. Gianni Green is the backside linebacker. He has to make the play. Miller just drives through his tackle attempt and now has a 2nd and short here for the Warriors.
Waterloo goes fast here, and Miller motioning out of the slot into the backfield, takes the handoff. Again, enough for a 1st down, a gain of 6 on 2nd and 3. Chains will move again, and Waterloo knocking on the door as well, down to the Guelph 21.
Well, Al-Khalid, who's the field side defensive end, has to honor the Nick Orr handoff attempt to Anthony Miller, because we've seen Nick Orr pull it. So he has outside leverage, and as Anthony Miller comes with speed out of the slot and hits that handoff with speed up the middle, he gets past Al-Khalid and picks up the 1st down for Waterloo to Anthony Miller.
Orr will throw, has time, has protection. Now he's out of time. He's going to have to throw it away, and he's leveled after he got rid of the football. Eunice Larry, I think, was the Gryphon who was in on the pressure to Orr as it broke down, and Orr will wisely throw it away on 1st down.
Well, and this is, Nick Orr didn't have to roll to his left there. Actually, rolling to his left hurt him because his offensive line, again, had that leverage, forcing the Gryphon defenders to the outside on the pass block attempt. That's where I've talked about the poise of Tristan Aboud being able to step up in the pocket. That's what you'd like to see from Nick Orr there. Step up in the pocket, get a little bit more time for your receivers to get open. That time rolling to his left was actually a negative for him and forced him to get hit again, another unnecessary hit that he didn't need to take.
So 2nd and 10 here. Orr to throw again through the middle, and Sukar was open on the cross. It was just a little too far for him. He got one hand on it, but that will force the Warriors into another field goal attempt here from Cole Crossett.
Well, you had man coverage. Sukar with his defender playing off him by about 7 yards and just had a 5-yard in-breaking route. Nick Orr knew where he was going with the ball right away, just got overexcited and led him a little bit too much. But if he just puts that in a spot where Sukar can run behind it, Sukar's walking in for a touchdown, and now Waterloo has to settle for the 28-yard field goal attempt from Crossett.
Kick is up from Crossett, and it is through. So Cole Crossett will knock through the 28-yarder. That will extend Waterloo's lead to 11-7. And again, a bend but not break from Guelph's defense.
Well, and depending on how this game finishes out here, Adam, that's a play that you can look back on at the end and say that was either really good for us if you're Guelph, or that was really bad for us if you're Waterloo, because again, Sukar had a walk-in touchdown, man-to-man coverage, playing off, had the perfect route for it, or knew where to put the football, and they just can't complete it. And that's something that a young quarterback, you want to get the ball out quick, but you have to take some off in that scenario.
Malloy on the rush, can't get to the corner, enough to gain about 5 on first down to the 40. Keyshawn Bowen and Jethro Aleko there on the stop. And just going back to that one too, Jack, is that a case too of a young quarterback with a big arm maybe needing to understand when to take a little bit off of a throw like that?
Yeah, for sure. And it's also the excitement of it. I see this guy. He's wide open. This is going to be a touchdown. Here we go. Here we go. And you get pumped up. But then you overthrow it and you don't allow him time to get behind the ball. You want to put it in there quick because you don't want to allow the defender to get in there, but you don't want to have an incompletion and settle for a field goal either.
2nd and 4 for Guelph, and a completion. This one's to Willem Arsenault. That's the first time we've said the freshman's name, and he's had a great rookie season for Guelph. Makes his first catch and will move the chains for the Gryphons here.
Again, I'm really impressed with Tristan Aboud and his ability to sit back in the pocket, be so calm back there for a true freshman to come in and do that in the OUA, especially with how Waterloo's defensive lines played. Sees the opening in Arsenault down the field for the first down and gets him the ball quickly. And Arsenault did a good job of getting down.
Pass to the near side. Again, it's Arsenault. Breaks one tackle and gains 11 on first down. So another first down here for Guelph as they look to put together their first sustained drive.
Well, and this is what people mean when they say take what the defense gives you. Quick route, off coverage, you have the open man, just get it to him 5 yards down the field. Oh, somebody missed a tackle. Oh, this turns into a gain of 11 yards and a first down for Guelph. So just being calm and collected to be able to get that ball out and be able to move it down the field and get another first down.
Under 6 to play first half. Little play action, almost read perfectly by Travis. Was in fact read perfectly by the defensive back, Jordan Travis, the veteran out of Barrie, as he knocked that one away on first down.
Yeah, well, Tristan Aboud's only thrown one interception this year, and that was a perfect play by Jordan Travis because that ball was put so low. The only thing Jordan Travis could do with the body positioning of the receiver is reach around and knock it down to the ground. And that's where another impressive part of Tristan Aboud's game, knowing where to put the football and not force a turnover. That time the defense didn't give him that pass.
2nd and 10, the pocket collapses. Guess who? It's Tyson Hergott again, his 2nd sack of the afternoon, wreaking havoc on 2nd and long. That will force the Gryphons into a punt here.
Yeah, well, the poise of Tristan Aboud there on that one, there's just nowhere to go. He's standing in the pocket collapses around him. Tyson Hergott pins his ears back on 2nd and long and is able to get to the quarterback. And again, that's winning the first down. So that first down play results in a 2nd and long. Waterloo's defense knows they can pin their ears back and go after Tristan Aboud, and Tyson Hergott gets home again.
Cardiero will punt. Ball snapped just on Waterloo's side of midfield. Cardiero, a high one that Sukar will field at the 19. Sukar tries to bounce to the outside. Oh, and a good job there by the Guelph coverage unit. Is there a flag down on the field, Jack? I can't see.
Injured
There's
Griffin.
an injured Griffin here on the near side.
Looks like Nicholas Metron.
I think it was Kobe Afukwu with the tackle on Sukar, who's also down on one knee. Really good coverage there by Afukwu tracking down the speed of Justin Sukar. And so shaking up players on both sidelines. We'll step away here for a moment as they address the injured players on the field. 4:49 to play, first half, 11-7 Waterloo. Back at Warrior Field here, it'll be first down Waterloo from the Warrior 20 with 4:49 to play. Out of town score, Jack. What do we have in the Windsor Western game?
Well, the Western Mustangs just kicked a field goal to go down by 2 against the Windsor Lancers. So Windsor with a 10-8 lead over the back-to-back defending Yates Cup champion Western Mustangs, who won a national championship in 2021 with their freshman quarterback Evan Hillock and his high school teammate Savon Magne Jones, but have an uphill battle here.
On first down for Waterloo, handoff is to Springer. Gets out to the 25. Gain of 5 on first down.
And I talked about it earlier with Quentin Springer, where tried to bounce it to the outside, and you see that with a lot of skill guys coming out of high school because they just have the speed to beat everybody when they do that. But that time just follows his offensive line, drives himself forward, picks up the 5 yards, and puts himself into second and manageable. So that's great awareness by the Waterloo coaches to teach that, and by Quentin Springer to put it in effectively here in quarter number 2, up by 4 against the Gryphons.
Second down and 5. Handoff is to Springer again. Springer breaks through. A big gain on second down and 5 as forward progress finally stopped at the Waterloo 42.
Well, and that's one of those where the pulling player for the Waterloo Warriors comes up the hole. Quentin Springer knows that he has a lead blocker, so he's actually able to turn back to his left and see who's coming to hit him from the backside, and he's able to break a tackle because of it. So that trust in the offensive line, the relationship that the offensive linemen and the running backs have, proving big there, and Guelph unable to make a tackle, and Waterloo still running all over this Gryphons defense here in the first half.
Yeah, a little reminiscent of Guelph's loss to Windsor earlier in this season. Handoff to Springer again. Springer pulled down a gain of, they're going to say 3 on first down. Really good play there on the far side. I think that might have been Curtis Woodmansey, Jack.
Yeah, it is Curtis Woodmansey, and if Guelph's defense wants to have success on first down like they just did, they need him to be a big part of it. He's eating double teams up front, but he's going to have to make guys miss and have to make plays himself in order to force the Warriors into a second and long situation like he's just put Waterloo in with 2nd and 7 coming up here.
We've hit the 3-minute warning here of the first half. Waterloo, 2nd and 7 here at their own 45-yard line. Anthony Miller is the back in alongside Nick Orr. Play clock down to 2. They do get it off. The handoff is to Miller. Miller with a couple of jumps, but he can't get away from the Gryphon attack. Thrown down after the whistle, and I don't think the Waterloo sideline cares much for that, but it is a stop on second down and long from Guelph. That'll force a Waterloo punt.
Yeah, that's a great job by the front 7 for the Gryphons to force Anthony Miller to have to move side to side, but not really pick anything up north-south, and forcing a punt here from Cole Crossett. So it's a good job by this Guelph Gryphons team to get the stop, and now cross it on to try and flip the field and get a stop here for the Warriors with 2.5 to go in the first half.
Crossett does just get it away, and it's a good punt. Down to the Guelph 20, fielded by Guthrie. Guthrie to the far sideline, and Guthrie with a good burst there. Flags are down on the far side, too. And given the reaction of the Guelph coaching box next to us, Jack, I wonder if that is against the Gryphons.
Well, I think there might be one either way. I'm wondering if Kalen Fraser threw a hit late, because the first flag came out in the area of holding block in the back, but the second flag came out after Guthrie had gone out of bounds. So that might negate a little bit of the yardage, but still a little bit of a long field here. And Tristan Aboud on the Guelph bench and Marshall McCray in at quarterback. So an interesting choice here for the Gryphons. 2:17 to go in the first half. Marshall McCray, one of the most explosive dual threat quarterbacks in high school football in the country. Last season was in a quarterback battle for the #1 spot with Tristan Aboud. Tristan Aboud won the job, but Marshall McCray used a lot in this Guelph offense as a running threat. But the way that Waterloo has stopped the run, aside from maybe that one draw play that went for Guelph's lone touchdown of the game.
Yeah, I think it was, meanwhile, Jack, offsetting.
I think there was a
Penalties
hold
maybe,
against
yeah.
Guelph and then an unnecessary
So
roughness after the play, so it's 5 yards up for the Gryphons.
5 for the Gryphons, and it is the fellow true freshman Marshall McCray in at quarterback for Guelph. 6 rushing touchdowns on the year. He will pull. He's going to look to throw and has Kane Stevenson here on the near side, who tries to cut back upfield and gain a couple more on first down. It's going to be enough for another first down, a gain of 10.
Well, and this is where we're going to see the difference in style of play between Tristan Aboud and Marshall McCray. Aboud, pocket quarterback. He steps up. He's patient, poised in the pocket. Marshall McCray, younger cousin of the Fords, a lot more like Trey Ford in the way that he plays football, likes to extend the pocket out to the sidelines, ability to extend the play with his feet.
Yeah, and if the rumors are to be believed, as the handoff is to Malloy on first down, he's taken down a gain of 6 or 7. It was down to these two teams for Marshall McCray and his decision. He definitely had several meetings, and he posted himself on his Twitter account that he had an offer from Waterloo as well as Guelph. Other places, of course, one of the most dynamic players in the country. He got lots of attention. Chose the Gryphons, and on second down, he's going to keep. Oh, and he's crushed by Jethro Aleko, but he spins for a first down. Jethro Aleko met McCray in the backfield there, but McCray at 6'1" still kept the feet moving, and that is enough for a first down. It's right at midfield.
He needed 2, he got 3, so he got the first down. Now they put Tristan Aboud back in the game, and I think some of the reason Marshall McCray chose Guelph is because of the change in the quarterback room that happened last year. But that's a great job by McCray to keep his feet moving and pick up the first down.
Aboud looking downfield, can't find anybody. He's going to be pushed out of bounds there by Jethro Aleko after a gain of maybe 1. No, it's going to be, it's a loss of 1.
Yeah, he was forced out, so that's actually going to be a sack given to Jethro Aleko. And Marshall McCray, the threat, you saw the run by Malloy. The threat of McCray keeping it himself like he did on that gain of 3 to pick up the first down. This is the most effective Guelph's moved the football in the game. And not saying that Tristan Aboud has not played well, but Marshall McCray just gives you a different dynamic, gives the defense a different look. Why do we get to midfield and then change it, and now we're in 2nd and 12?
Yeah, it does spread the defense east-west more with a threat. Ball is out! Picked up by Aboud. He's going to still throw it and complete to Malloy. Malloy has a chance to get to a first down. Can he get there? And just at the marker, oh my word, what kind of play was that? First, Tyson Hergott got his hand on the ball. It was knocked out of the hand of Tristan Aboud and the presence of mind of Aboud. It's going to be short of the first down, I think, but Tristan Aboud there to not only pick that ball up, but make a play to Malloy. There is an injured Gryphon down. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and you would think with 1 minute and 9 seconds left at this point of the field, Jack, that'll be all systems go for Guelph. Again, Tyson Hergott just wreaking havoc in the Guelph backfield.
Yeah, and that's great awareness, great poise by Tristan Aboud. When something like that happens with Kane Stevenson down on the field for the Gryphons. When something like that happens to a young quarterback, you see a lot of guys scramble, and all they want to do is throw it as far down the field as possible. But for him to check it down to Malloy, who's able to break some tackles and gain back 12 yards, 11 and a half yards, it's a long one. Third and a long one coming up here for the Gryphons. But because of this Kane Stevenson injury, basically a timeout. You can talk it through. What do we want to do? What's going to be most effective for us?
Meanwhile, on the far sideline, head coach Chris Bertoya,
Well, and
let's say displeased with the officials. They are going to congregate now. This is an interesting one.
Well, it was a fumble in the backfield. It wasn't an incomplete pass. Tristan Aboud can still pick it up and throw the football. So I'm not really sure what the conference would be for now. Was there a penalty that we might not have seen from here that Chris Bertoya wanted called on the field as Kane Stevenson comes off? But Tristan Aboud now on the Guelph bench. Marshall McRae beside Ryan Shan, the head coach. So again, you're just getting that different look and what's been so effective. Even the one quarterback keep we saw from Marshall McRae, he got hit hard by Jethro Aleko, and he still picked up 3 yards in the first down, even though he got hit before the line to gain. I really liked what I saw from him at the start of the drive up to the midfield point when they put Aboud back in the game. But now 3rd and 1, you're putting in Marshall McRae to try and pick up a first down and keep your offense alive late in the first half.
A minute 9 seconds left here. Guelph still trailing by 4. This is the short yardage package, but it looks like McRae will take a shotgun snap. He won't crawl under center. 3rd and 1. It's a handoff, and it's enough for a first down from Donovan Malloy. Got 2 on 3rd and 1, so Guelph will maintain control, and Tristan Aboud back in for Guelph at quarterback.
Well, and again, the threat of him pulling and running the ball spreads the Warriors' defense to the outside, and that's going to open up the middle, right? Because you're forcing Tyson Hergott and you're forcing Halstead to try and contain Marshall McRae inside, so they can't jump inside to make a tackle. They gain 2 and pick up the first down.
Aboud to throw. Aboud will step up in the pocket. Now Aboud will run. He's hit hard, but scrambles for about 10 on first down. That'll be enough probably to move the sticks. It looks like it's right at the marker.
Yeah, they put him right at the line to gain, but again, another young quarterback. He didn't need the first down. He had 2 more downs to pick up what would have been 2 yards. That's one where unnecessary hit to take, just get down and slide. But a great awareness by Tristan Aboud, who we talked about. Likes to stay in the pocket, stays in the pocket, stays in the pocket. Opened up in front of him, took off, picked up 9.5 yards for second and very short.
Aboud to throw. He's going to go deep, and it's going to be intercepted. Picked off. Anisu Lapmore on 2nd and inches, Jack. A shot to the end zone that ends in a Waterloo interception in the final minute of the half.
Well, Tristan Aboud having the conversation with Willem Arsenault about the route that he was supposed to run. It looked like Arsenault ran an outside release fly, and Aboud wanted him to run a post or a deep in. But 2nd and inches, you have 2 attempts at it. Pick up the first down. Tons of time left in the first half.
Yeah, Jack, I mean, we're up here for a reason and not on the sidelines, but route confusion notwithstanding, the call on that one's really befuddling.
2nd and short. You've picked it up twice with Marshall McRae in at quarterback. Why aren't you going back? The clock stops after every play. You could have done 10 different things there. And again, if that's in the end zone, it's a different conversation, but it wasn't. And now Waterloo takes over, and Guelph can't pick up points at the end of the first half.
So we'll see how conservative Waterloo is here. And yeah, snap count issue there will make things a little longer here for the Warriors with 30 seconds left. And the Warriors move backwards. One thing I think, Jack, they definitely don't want to do here is be forced to give up the the safety on a punt situation. So 1st and 15, how aggressive are you if you're head coach Chris Bertoya, Brendan Conway, the offensive coordinator here?
Well, I've beat them straight up running the football. So I'm just going to hand it to Anthony Miller and pick up as much as I can.
That is what the Warriors do, and on first down, it's a good carry here from Miller. Got about 6, 7 yards back. It'll bring up second down and about 8.
Well, in the way Waterloo has run the football, why would you do anything else on first down, especially first and long? Obviously, you're still second and long here on 2nd and 8, but it's a lot more manageable than second and behind the sticks.
Yeah, and with 24 seconds left, there's a timeout here by Guelph. That'll be their final timeout here of the half, pardon me. So then, Jack, the math. Let's figure this out here. If you're Waterloo and you're 2nd and 8, if you don't pick this up, you'll likely have to make some sort of decision here on 3rd down.
Well,
Whether or not you can just roll out with Crossett and try to kick it out of bounds.
Cole Crossett, I'm thinking he punts this down to the Guelph 45 on a regular punt. Now, do you want him to get it a little bit higher, closer to midfield so you can get down and cover? Do you want him to hammer it? I would hand this one off again, get as many yards as I can so the punt can go as deep into Guelph territory as possible.
And Miller stumbles in the backfield, so that plan is awry. 21.6 seconds left. The time will start here when the officials spot the ball and wind it.
Well, yeah, you can, if you're Waterloo, once they blow this in, you can take this down to 1 second. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking this down, taking the 5 yards, keeping my offense on the field, and then, no, you're calling a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock.
Right.
Because you have to punt it. It's 3rd down. So that's what they do. They should reset this clock to 1.6 seconds. But I'm actually keeping my offense out on the field. And then just having Nick Ord take the knee. Now they're putting the punt unit out. What I don't like about this, and obviously long snappers don't make mistakes, you could have a low snap, you could have a high snap, right? You could get pressure, like Crossett is deeper in his end, like he's catching this snap on his own 2-yard line. 1.6 seconds going back on the clock. But I'm not even punting it. If I'm Crossett, I'm catching the ball, I'm waiting for the horn to go, and then I'm dropping down to the turf.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't even have to spend enough time to roll out and kind of do one of those, kind of rolling kicks to his right that will bound out of bounds. He can just maintain control. That's what he'll do.
Take a knee, yep.
There he goes, right at his 1-yard line. So that'll do it for the half. And Waterloo will maintain their narrow gap here through 30 minutes. The Warriors 11, Guelph 7. We've got a good one on our hands. Join us for the second half after this.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
This is what girls do. This is what girls do. This is what girls do. what girls do. This is what girls do.
Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. An idea like turning a soccer player into a cyclist, or a goalie into a rower, or a kid who could run into one who can jump, throw, hurdle, vault, and run. RBC Training Ground finds and funds young Canadian athletes with Olympic potential. And their time has come.
welcome to the inaugural and the first of many diversity in sports conference. Congratulations to everybody for making this all become a reality.
I would highly recommend that people within the sport landscape in Canada definitely come out to this conference next year. There's so much good information that can be absorbed from here, and I think we can all be part of the change within Canada if we all actively engage in conversations like this.
Coming to the Diversity in Sports Conference was one of the best experiences I ever had after coming to Canada. The people I was able to meet, the people I was able to network with, the friends I made, and the learnings I gained were tremendous.
Sign up right now. Follow them on whatever social media platform they are. Email the OUA, contact them, contact whoever you need to contact, find out when they're getting ticket sales again, and get here. This is a must-do every single year. Everyone needs to be here. We need to pack this place and get at it again in 2024.
We don't have to work alone. We can do this together, and it shows by the numbers that are here that we want to improve and we want to make a better future for all Canadians. Doesn't matter where they're from, but that's the goal that we have. So thank you so much for coming to the inaugural conference, and dare I say, see you next year.
1, 2, 3.
Diversity in sports.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
This is what girls do. 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 This is what girls do.
Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. An idea like turning a soccer player into a cyclist, or a goalie into a rower, or a kid who could run into one who can jump, throw, hurdle, vault, and run. RBC Training Ground finds and funds young Canadian athletes with Olympic potential. And their time has come.
Welcome back to Warrior Field on the North Campus of the University of Waterloo. After 30 minutes of play, the Waterloo Warriors lead the Guelph Gryphons by a score of 11-7. Adam McGuire and Yates Cup champion Jack Moore with you here on OUA TV. And Jack, a back-and-forth second quarter that didn't feature much scoring, save for the first play of the quarter and the 76-yard scamper from Donovan Malloy. So now the Warriors will get the ball here to start the third. What do they need to do to try to lengthen this lead?
Yeah, well, Waterloo gets the ball first, and honestly, if you're Waterloo, the messaging, both sides of the football, is keep doing what you did in the first half. Offensively, we moved the ball 187 yards on the ground, and defensively, aside from one long touchdown run, you did really well.
Sukar with a return, but it was a block in the back at about the Waterloo 10. I think it was Evan Basiliga guilty of that one. We could see that one pretty clearly from our vantage point, Jack. So that will force the Warriors and Sukar on a decent return of about 24 yards back a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed by Kobe Afukwu on special teams here today. He gets the inside leverage. He beats Evan Basiliga with speed, and then Basiliga just trying to make a block, puts his hand in Afukwu's lower back and just gives him a little push, and it forces Waterloo to start this drive. Or no, they're going to say there was no flag on the play.
They're going to pick it up. Interesting. Yeah, Ryan Sheehan palms to the sky. He's not sure what's going on here, and neither are we, because it looked pretty clear to us.
Yeah, that was my same body reaction too, is why was that flag picked up?
So maybe a break for the Warriors here in the first play of the third quarter. Now our first play from scrimmage for the Warrior offense at the 26-yard line. Handoff is to Miller. Miller has some room. Anthony Miller, the near sideline, pushed out of bounds across midfield to the Guelph 52-yard line. A big gain on first down by Anthony Miller.
Why are you doing anything other than running the football at this point if you're the Waterloo Warriors? Throwing the football, you just went 2 of 7 in the first half, and Anthony Miller just broke off a big run there of over 30 yards. So now the Waterloo Warriors automatically in plus territory in the Guelph range. And now Anthony Miller's over 100 yards on the game. He was at 93 going into that carry.
So another first down for Waterloo. Or will take it and run himself up the middle. I don't know if that was a bit of a broken play. It looked like maybe a broken draw play for Miller.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to go with the draw. Miller was in the wrong spot or couldn't find him. But Nick Orr, just with a heads-up play to get as many yards as possible, puts himself 2nd and 5. So even when things don't go right on the rushing attack for the Waterloo Warriors, they're still in 2nd and manageable because of running the football. Over 200 yards on the ground on the day for Waterloo as a team so far, and 2nd and 5 from the Guelph 47.
Or pulls that one down and it's batted away. Yusuf Alcaldi reaches up and gets the hand to break that pass attempt up on 3rd and 5. Will Waterloo keep its offense out? And they won't. Look like for a moment they may, but they will punt it away.
Well, and this is why I said, why are you doing anything other than running the football in that situation, right? Because if you get 3 yards, you're probably in field goal range. Like, you're right on that edge.
You may be in range to go for it on 3rd and 2 if you get 3 yards, right?
Exactly. If the rushing game's, you go with the girl who took you to the dance. And right
Punt
now,
from Cole Crossett. Bounces down to the 5-yard line. Warriors didn't take the no yards penalty, which was good for them. Alert play there, but a good return from Anakin Guthrie. Something out of nothing to get it up to the Guelph 15.
for Waterloo, my thought process is rushing's been so effective. Guelph, aside from maybe 1 or 2 plays in this game, Adam, Guelph has proven they can't stop the run. So why are you not running the football as much as possible?
1st and 10 for the Gryphons. Can they take advantage of the early punt? Little pass there is complete to Ogilvie. It's the first time Ryan Ogilvie has been targeted today. He had 5 catches for 114 yards last year in that shootout win that Guelph had over Waterloo.
Laurent Paquin, the big H-back, came across the formation to the boundary, and that's where Tristan Aboud looked. So all the Warriors defenders flowing to that spot, and then he had Ogilvie just sitting there in the defense and gains 9 on the first down play.
2nd and 1, Malloy in the backfield. It'll be a handoff to Malloy. And Malloy, can he break another one? Still on his feet, Malloy finally hauled down. A big run for Guelph as the Gryphons swing back out to Guelph's 48-yard line on 2nd down and short.
We'll see what happens when you win on 1st down. The opportunities that show up on 2nd down for you to be able to move the football. Big run there. And now Malloy's over 100 yards on the game on the ground. So little old school football happening here, Adam. We see the new style offenses, spread offenses, but running the ball hard here at Warrior Field.
Aboud to throw. That one's caught by Willem Arsenault. Sits down and gains about 6.5 on 1st down. We'll call it an even 6. 2nd down and 4. And yeah, Jack, a far cry from that first few series we saw Guelph where they were constantly faced 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 10 a couple of times.
Now putting themselves in a position to succeed on 2nd down. And whether you're running, if you're throwing the ball here, you need to get it out quick.
Aboud will throw. Aboud over the middle. Oh, it's off the fingertips of the intended recipient. I think it might have been Malloy.
That one was Mason Duval.
Oh, Duval, you're right. Yep.
Coming out of the backfield, just couldn't bring it in, and he had a lot of space to pick up that 1st down. He's got to make that catch for Guelph. The concept was there. They ran everybody away from the middle of the field and then just had Duval just sit there a little bit late.
Maybe fortunate, too, that that pass after wasn't intercepted as the fake punt for the Gryphons. It looks like it'll work. Direct snap to Duval, and Duval makes up for the drop on 2nd down by plunging ahead on the fake punt. That keeps Guelph's offense back on the field.
Well, just when you write the book on coaching fake punts in Canadian football, that's the exact situation they're talking about. 3rd and 4 from midfield, down by 4 early in the 3rd quarter.
Handoff is to Malloy. Malloy now with another big run. 12 on 1st down and 10, and Guelph's got the ball moving here. The Gryphons swing back as we knew they would here. You know, Guelph at 3 and 2 with 7 playoff teams in the OUA, 4 wins, all but guarantees you a ticket to the dance, you would think.
Well, but it also puts you in a really good spot in your last couple of games against some tougher opponents after the bye week next week for Guelph to have a home playoff game.
Aboud to throw. A boot over the middle. It's caught by Arsenault. Arsenault makes a move to make one Warrior miss. Finally tracked down by James Hinsberger inside Waterloo's 20. Slow to get up there is Anisu Latmore.
And he should take a knee here.
Third-year defensive back from Ottawa. Was in on that tackle, kind of got rolled up on, so he will take a knee. And we will step away for a moment here with the Gryphons on the move early third quarter. Latmore up on his own power. In for him will be Isaiah Marcus. Guelph with a first down and 10 on Waterloo's 18 here, looking to take their first lead of the afternoon. McCray is in at quarterback. Marshall McCray. A little bit of a draw from McCray. McCray hauled down by Jethro Aleko. Gain of only 2 maybe on first down, as you could see McCray's athleticism there as he tried to shake Jethro Aleko. Good play from the Waterloo senior linebacker.
Well, yeah, that's a great job by Aleko. The realization, he sees the pulling guard and knows exactly where McCray's going with that football. And he knows if I don't make that tackle, Marshall McCray might be in the end zone. So Aleko making a big tackle there to force second and long with McCray staying in the game.
2nd and 8. Little delay to Malloy, and Malloy won't get enough for the first down. He's taken down by 3 Warriors. James Hinsberger, the first one there. Kyle Dottie also flew in. And that will force the Gryphons into a field goal attempt here on 3rd down, and that was a loss of a yard, they'll say, about 1 yard loss, so it'll be a field goal attempt of 25.
So Guelph trying to pull back within 1.
Gabriel Canabrava will line it up from 25 on the right hash. Canabrava's kick is up. It is wide to the left, to the right, pardon me. Wide right through the back of the end zone, so a single.
And that's a gut punch there. If you're the Guelph Gryphons, same to what Waterloo had on the first drive of the game, where they go down and cross that, misses one. Now for Guelph, advantage of missing that one. If you want to take some positive from it, you're only down by 3 now. So a field goal does tie the game in what's been a low-scoring, tight game. Teams controlling the ball on the ground, but so effective offensively moving the ball down the field. And then to try and settle for 3 points to pull yourself within 1, you miss a chip shot of a 25-yarder.
Yeah, so both teams miss at this end of the field as the handoff is to Springer. Quentin Springer takes the contact after a big hole, and he'll gain 8, maybe 8.5 on first down.
Yeah, Devin Cromwell coming downhill, making the tackle. But again, after a gain of 9 yards on the play for Quentin Springer. And that was Evan Basiliga coming around the edge looking for somebody to hit. There was nobody there. Offensive line doing a good job of getting helmets on bodies and moving this Guelph defense out of the way. Again, keeping the ball on the ground, keep it moving for the Waterloo offense is what's been effective for you. 2nd and
1, Miller in the backfield. Miller with the carry. Miller has the first down out to the Waterloo 52. Just going back to that last run with Springer, that's something the Waterloo coaching staff has been working on. Quentin Springer throughout training camp in the early part of the season is getting his pad level low. That's obviously something that a young first-year player coming into this league has to work on. Can't rely on the pure speed as much at this level, as you said, Jack. So good job there by Springer to keep the pad level low on that first down gain of 9.
Well, and it's hits like that from Devin Cromwell that'll teach you, hey, I really do have to keep my pad level low, because he took a big pop. But good for him for taking it, staying in the game in the backfield now on 1st and 10.
First down, a handoff to Sukar. A little misdirection, and Sukar will gain 6, maybe 5 on first down.
Good concept there by the Waterloo Warriors. 3 running backs in the backfield, and they all go in cross motion. Then the last handoff is to Sukar, who has a couple lead blockers ahead of him. So even though it didn't look like there was much there, it was still a gain of 5 for Sukar, who gets his first carry of the game.
And again, a Guelph defender down as the Gryphons try to make some personnel changes.
Well, we do see some injuries on the Guelph sideline. One player in a sling, another with their knee taped up. So Guelph facing the injury bug here on this hot day in Waterloo. 24 degrees, but that field turf makes it feel hotter than it actually is.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Jack, very little breeze today. The flags to our right by the scoreboard here moving ever so slightly, but definitely nothing enough to have them whip in the wind. They're kind of dormant at this point.
And as you're going through the season, obviously injuries are a part of football, and that's the worst part of football. It's Max Barber being helped off the field.
Guelph hasn't had their bye either, Jack, so it's been a long stretch for them.
Well, and it's, you know, you can make the argument when's the best time to have your bye. Most teams will tell you it's in week 5, week 4, week 6. But when you get that week 7 bye, or you're the Carleton Ravens who have a week 1 bye, it can be as big of a detriment as anything else.
2nd down and 5, a long 5 for Waterloo here. Handoff is to Springer, and Springer hauled down in the backfield. Josh Campbell blew that play up, and it'll be a loss of about 2.5 or 3. Waterloo will have to punt once again.
Well, and I talked about Woodmansey earlier. That's what I was talking about. Campbell sheds off the block, makes the play in the backfield, wraps up Springer before he can get upfield. The big body defensive lineman for the Guelph Gryphons making a play and forcing Waterloo to punt this one away and stop the drive at midfield. And you mentioned it earlier, that's great bend but don't break mentality from this Guelph defense, who's seen it quite a few times in this contest.
Cross set to kick it away. Not his best effort. Fielded there by Guthrie, and Guthrie taken down at the Guelph 35-yard line. I think they'll mark it maybe the 36. And that's where the Gryphon offense will start trying to answer back. It's going to be Aboud back at the pivot position again.
So the last time Guelph had the ball, they were deep in Waterloo territory. They got into 2nd and long, and they kept Marshall McRae in the game. And Marshall McRae can throw the football, but the threat of throwing the football was taken away on that 2nd and long, which resulted in a 3rd and long in the field goal attempt. Tristan Aboud back in the game for the Gryphons.
Aboud throws. It's complete. Ogilvie with the catch. Tackle made by Ben Cartwright. Gain of 6 maybe on 1st down. They'll call it 5, I think.
That's good. Get the ball out quickly. See what the defense is giving you. They're playing a little bit off. You have a quick hitch at 5 yards. Get it into the hands of Ogilvie, and he picks up as much as he can and puts you into 2nd and manageable. That's a win on 1st down for the Gryphons.
It's going to be a long 4, in fact, on 2nd down. Aboud will throw again. Pressure comes. Pressure comes. Tyson Hergott again. His 3rd sack of the afternoon. An outrageous performance from Tyson Hergott.
Yeah, and that's really been when you get into the 2nd and manageable, you need quick turning routes. You need routes. You know, you had on the last play, Mitch Ogilvie ran 5-yard stop. Well, 5 yards would have picked up the 1st down. Why are we running longer performing routes that open up later when you know that Tyson Hergott's been pinning his ears back on passing plays? And the Guelph Gryphons are forced to punt this one away after what could have been a good drive, but stymied by the 3rd sack by Tyson Hergott today.
Guerriero gets it away. It's going to be James Basiliga. Drop the punt. Has to pick it back up and will just step out of bounds at about the Waterloo 34-yard line. And, yeah, just to go back to that play, you know, we can talk all we want about offensive line play versus defensive line play, but, you know, Jack, you know this as well as anybody. The most effective way to avoid pressure in the backfield is to get the ball out. If there's no ball in the backfield, that's the most effective and probably the only fail-safe way to make sure that you're not going to get yourself in a position like Guelph just did there, where Tyson Hergott was able to get to the quarterback.
Putting yourself and your team in a position to be successful is always how I look at it. And Tristan Abboud just not put in a spot to be successful on that second down.
Or under center now. Handoff is to Miller. Miller gains 3 on first down. And these last few series here in the second half, Guelph doing a much better job on first down, with the exception of the one run from Miller to start the first offensive drive for the Warriors in this half. They've been winning first down on the defensive side of the ball here in the third quarter.
Well, that was a great job by Jack Cobb, because Steven Schwartz was coming around and he was the puller. He was supposed to go up the hole, but Cobb got the inside leverage, so Schwartz had to double guess himself and say, do I go get him, do I go up the hole? He didn't pick either, and Guelph makes the tackle just 3 yards down the field. So that's a good job by the outside linebacker for the Gryphons.
Springer in motion. Passes into a tight window there. 2 Gryphons were there. It was behind Evan Basiliga. It falls incomplete, and maybe fortunate for the Warriors that it did.
Yeah, you said tight window. I think it was just a brick removed from the house. I don't think it was a window at all. There was a defender on either side, step for step. And we know Nick Orr likes going to Evan Basiliga, but on that one, just not available. And Orr, 2 of 9 in the passing game so far. So Waterloo really hasn't got that passing attack going. They've really leaned on the running game, which is fine because it's been effective, but at some point you got to go win a football game in an 11-8 game.
Breeze is picked up a little bit to Crossette's back. What a boomer this one is. All the way down to the 5, where Guthrie will field it. Guthrie breaks one tackle to the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds. He made something out of a huge punt there out to the 22 of Guelph. The 27 of Guelph. And giant punt from the leg of the 2021 All-Canadian punter Cole Crossett.
68-yard punt, 22-yard return. Massive field flip there for the Waterloo Warriors. And now Tristan Abboud back in the game, and as good as Guelph's offense was against the York Lions, and they won a tight game against the McMaster Marauders, we're coming down to crunch time with under 18 minutes to play in this one late in the third quarter.
Abboud pulls it out. Pressure coming. Tyson Hergott again. His 4th sack of the night. That time a little bit of help. Oh, it's going to be, no, it's not a sack. It's just at the line of scrimmage. No gain. So it's not his 4th sack, but a huge play from Hergott. I believe as well in there was Kyle Doughty.
Yeah, that's again, you see it coming to the flat. Laurent Paquin coming to the flat. Abboud got to get that ball out quickly there because it was available, but then he stops, and Waterloo's defensive line rallying to the football. Waterloo wins first down, 2nd and long for the Gryphons.
2nd and 9, Abboud to throw. Abboud through the middle of the field. It's going to be caught. About a yard, 2 yards past the line to gain the catch made by Ryan Ogilvie. That'll move the sticks for the Gryphons.
That's a great route concept because Ogilvie comes out. He gets outside leverage on Jethro Aleko, who's in zone, so he's not facing Ogilvie. Doesn't see where he goes, but he sees that he's in outside leverage, so he's turning. He's faced to the sideline, but then Ogilvie sits on the inside of Aleko so that when Abboud gets the ball out, Aleko can't make a play on the ball. Guelph picks up the first down. It's a great route concept, great execution by the Gryphons offense.
Abboud to throw again. It's Ogilvie again with a catch. Got it out quick, gain of 5.
And those are the small mind games that go into football where it's, again, putting yourself in a position to win. For Ogilvie, if he stays outside leverage on that hook, Aleko can make a play on the football because he's inside the football to Mitch Ogilvie. But Ogilvie sits inside Aleko and then takes another quick hitch pass for a gain of 4, 2nd and 6 for the Gryphons.
Abboud, let's see if they'll go quick pass again. Abboud to throw. Abboud going deep. It is through the hands of Ryan Ogilvie. So Abboud had the time that time, and Ogilvie had a half step on Ben Cartwright here on the boundary side, but it falls incomplete, so Guelph will have to punt.
And that's a tough throw. We always talk about quarterbacks throwing to the wide side of the field, but when you're throwing to the short side of the field, so much less field to work with. if you're a quarterback and a receiver. And when you have Cartwright, there was a little bit of separation there, but putting it in a perfect spot is really difficult. Ogilvie couldn't come down with it, and Guelph has to punt this one away.
Under a minute here in the third quarter. Guardiero will get it away. It's going to be Ramel Samuel Slocum. Ball bounces away. Good Guelph bounce to the Waterloo 25. A flag comes down as Samuel Slocum plunges ahead to the 33 of Waterloo, but we'll see what the flag is.
And it's interesting because we've talked about it a few times on previous broadcasts, Adam. When you have two returners, really isn't a benefit to kicking to the wide side of the field because you're kicking right to a returner. So you really only want to kick to the wide side of the field when there's one returner back. And Ramel Samuel Slocum, as that punt goes up and into that small breeze, it just hangs up in the air. Slocum had enough time to get under it, but he couldn't, lets it bounce, and then Waterloo takes a penalty. So they'll start inside at their own 20-yard line. So while the punt wasn't great, Waterloo put in a position to be successful. Execution and then a penalty puts them back at their own 20 when they really should start this drive at their own 45.
Yeah, Samuel Slocum hasn't done much punt returning either, so maybe just some inexperience as the handoff will come to Springer here on first down. And again, a modest gain, maybe 3 on first down.
Well, we're really seeing now from the Gryphons, they're going to pin their ears back and commit to the run because when Nick Orr has tried to beat them through the air, he hasn't been successful. So Guelph is saying, you're not going to beat us with the run. We're going to force you to beat us through the air. As we get to the last play of the third quarter, barring a defensive penalty.
2nd and 7, clock's at 0, so this is the final play of the third quarter. Springer the lone back. Orr will roll to his right. Orr, can he get the corner? Yes, he does. Bounces off a one tackle. Nick Orr still going. Can he get enough for the first down? He does. Helmet comes off after the play, but Nick Orr scrambles and gains 10 on 2nd and 7. And so Orr will get up, and that will move the sticks here and the last play of the third quarter. So the Warriors getting things done with their feet, although the Gryphons starting to push back on defense. Waterloo leads 11-8. You won't want to miss the fourth quarter. Come back and join us in just a moment.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
Welcome back for the fourth quarter. Warrior Field, Adam McGuire and Jack Moore. Jack, quickly here before we get underway, out-of-town scores.
Yeah, the out-of-town scores, the Windsor Lancers up on the Western Mustangs 10-8 with about 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in that one. And the Toronto Varsity Blues with a big lead on the McMaster Marauders, 31-10.
Anthony Miller on first down, gains of 12. That will move the sticks once again for Waterloo as they go back to the run.
19th carry of the day, just shy of 150 yards on the ground for Anthony Miller. Didn't see him a ton after that big run in quarter number 3. But we should see him be the workhorse back here in the fourth quarter for the Waterloo Warriors, who are up by 3 at the start of the fourth quarter.
1st and 10 for the Warriors. Orr corrals a bit of a high snap. Miller can't gain more than about 2. Really good play there by the line of the Gryphons. I think it was Max Barber, 95, that made the stop. Might have been Campbell, 96.
It was Campbell. Josh Campbell getting in there and making the play. Is Guelph going with a little thinner lineup up front to get some speed on second and long. 3 down linemen, and Waterloo's got a long way to go to pick up the first down here.
Second down and 9 for Waterloo. Orr will throw. Orr has to scramble. Orr cuts up the field. Orr, can he plunge ahead? Just about a yard short. Maybe a yard and a half. Now decision time for the Warriors.
Wow, he's about 4 yards short.
Oh, they're going to mark him. Yeah.
Yeah, they marked him.
Yeah, he rolled off of the initial tackle, but they're going to say he was down.
So you got to punt this football away, but it's Josh Campbell down on the turf here for the Guelph Gryphons. Orr staying on the field. But I didn't catch a number on the far side of the field of the receiver, but as Orr was scrambling out to his left, there are rules on the scramble drill as a receiver. If you're deep, come back to the quarterback. If you're shallow, go deep. If you're in the middle, work towards your quarterback. Now, that receiver was in the middle of the field, but over on the sideline, so he can't roll to the same way as Orr was. So you either have to make a decision. Are you coming back to your quarterback to give help, or are you going to go deep and try and get a shot over the top as Orr's rolling to his left? Didn't really give him any kind of help, and Orr only able to pick up about 5. And third and a long 3 here. But Waterloo getting a de facto timeout because of the injury to Josh Campbell to talk this over.
Yeah, Campbell's still down. We'll step away and be back with the third down decision after this. Back at Warrior Field, a big third down and a long 3. The Warriors are going to keep the offense out nearing midfield. Leading 11-8, 13:07 left in the fourth quarter. Get the sense this is a huge play that could have ramifications of the outcome of this game. Handoff is to Miller. No, it's Orr. He keeps it. Little toss to Tyler Tierney. It's a first down.
Massive play, an ineffective passing game so far for the Waterloo Warriors. Third and medium to short. So Guelph's defense is bailing all out on the run, and Tierney just slips out of the backfield, and Nick Orr keeps it himself, rolls out to his right, his strong side, flip out to Tierney, and the Waterloo Warriors move the sticks and stay on the field offensively.
It's the first catch today for Tierney, the second year out of London. First down at the Guelph 50. Handoff to Miller. Miller cuts it up through the hole. Miller still on his feet. Anthony Miller down to the 20. Anthony Miller all the way down inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. A huge run for Miller and the Warriors.
Yeah, 37 yards on that run by Anthony Miller as he gets deep inside Guelph territory into the red zone. And that's one where the H-back coming across, Zach Parmley, setting up the block. Guelph's defense overcommits. Miller cuts it back to the inside, bounces off a tackle, and then beats everybody else with speed.
First and 10 from the 13. Bad snap, but Orr is going to corral it with one hand, and Nick Orr averts disaster there by gaining about 2 maybe on first down.
Yeah, luckily that snap was to the roll side for the Waterloo Warriors. So even though it was a bad snap, and you typically see that when a center is setting up, and as he steps, that ball's moving as he's stepping away, and that ball's going to trail off to the side that he's stepping. But Nick Orr able to pick it up. That was supposed to be an outside zone to the right, so Orr able to pick up 3 yards on the play and get 2nd and 7 as we have an injured Warrior down on the field.
Yeah, it's the right guard, Ethan Kalra, I believe. And Kalra in some discomfort will step away as they treat Kalra on the near sideline. We'll be back after this.
exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school...
Back at Warrior Field, 2nd down and 7 as Ethan Calra is helped off the field. Quick update out of town. I think Western has taken the lead on Windsor.
14-10 over the Windsor Lancers. That's going to be a big game atop the OUA standings, especially with the last 2 weeks of the season. Week 8, Windsor's traveling across the street to play Laurier, and then Laurier goes to Western week number 9 when the Windsor Lancers play the York Lions. So those 3 5-0 teams colliding in the last few weeks of the season. But Waterloo knocking on the door here, 2nd and 7 from the Guelph 10-yard line after a big run by Anthony Miller.
2nd and 7, Orr to throw. Orr goes deep. Basiliga in the corner of the end zone. It's just overthrown as James Basiliga couldn't track it down, so that'll bring up 3rd and 7, and the Warriors will kick a field goal.
Yeah, he threw that one skinny, so Basiliga inside leverage, breaking out to the back corner of the end zone, and Nick Orr throws that up the field. So the aim for Basiliga on the break is that back pylon, and then the ball ended up at that far back white sign just inside the play clock. So Basiliga had to adjust just to step out of his reach. Good placed ball considering where the defender was, but if he leads him more to the corner and allows Basiliga a bit more time to run under it, could have been 6 points for Waterloo.
So a 17-yard attempt here from Cole Crossett, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Low snap. Basiliga got it down. Kick is up and through. So a good job from the veteran Basiliga to set the ball. It's 14-8 Waterloo. So lots of this going back and forth here, Jack. Kind of bend but not break. Warriors have had to settle for 2 field goal attempts, 1 miss, 1 make as they moved the ball. And Guelph suffering the same fate with a missed field goal earlier in the half.
Anthony Miller at 185 yards on the day. No touchdowns, but big impact on the ground wearing out this Guelph defense. And now it's going to be what defense can keep it up into the 4th quarter after being beaten and battered here through 3 quarters of play.
McRae back in at quarterback for the Gryphons. 10 minutes and 30 seconds to play. 14-8 Waterloo leads. Handoff is to Malloy. Malloy with a hole. Keeps his legs moving, and they're going to stop him short of the first. Now they're going to spot him right at the line to gain the 45. It's going to be a 1st down for Guelph.
Well, I'm looking at Tristan Aboud on the Guelph bench, and he's not up with the coaches. He's down at the end of the bench around the Waterloo 47-yard line, and he's been pulsing that left hand, and doesn't look like he'll be re-entering this game anytime soon. So it looks like with the last 10 minutes to go, this might be Marshall McRae's game to go in for the Gryphons.
1st down and 10 is McRae. In at quarterback. Handoff to Malloy. No, he'll pull it. Ball is deflected by Tyson Hergott right in the face of McRae, and that'll be 2nd down and 10 on the incompletion. Hergott again into the backfield, and McRae just able to get it out, and Hergott was able to deflect it.
Jacob Thomas was wide open behind the Waterloo defense, and Marshall McRae just has to see that a little bit quicker, get his feet set, and float it down the field. He just has to lead it for Thomas to run under it. It was wide open in there for Guelph for a big play, but now they're 2nd and 10 from their own 45.
McRae will throw. Pressure comes. Pocket. A good one, and now McRae is going to take off. McRae to the edge. Can he get enough? He does. 1st down flag comes after the play. A late hit maybe on McRae as he got to the sideline, but then was shoved out of bounds. So that'll tack on more to the end of the run of McRae on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, this will be a total gain of 29. Gain of 14 on the ground by Marshall McRae, and then it's so difficult as a defender because if you don't get hands on a quarterback like Marshall McRae and force him out of bounds, he could toe tap the sideline and stay up, and then you get accused of not finishing the play. But now you're put in a bad spot because you do put hands on him and he is committing to go out of bounds. And now you push him out of bounds and get an extra 15 yards called for it. So now all of a sudden, last play at their own 45. This play will start at the Waterloo 35, so a big gain by McCray.
First down and 10 for McCray in the Guelph offense. Handoff is to Malloy. Malloy only about 2 or 3 on first down.
And I can tell you, Tristan Aboud sitting on the trainer's table being looked at by the Guelph athletic therapy staff. Looks like they're looking at that left shoulder. So again, this is not a package that Guelph's putting into the game. This is Marshall McCray's game to go and get for the Guelph Gryphons, who have 2nd and 6 here.
Yeah, gain of 4 on that first down rush by Malloy. Crunch time here, fourth quarter. McCray to throw. He's got a man deep. It is caught for a touchdown. Willem Arsenault hauled it down and maintained possession as the Warriors converged on him. Guelph has their first lead if they can knock through the extra point.
Free safety rolls down to Marshall McCray's right. Willem Arsenault gets inside leverage on Jordan Travis. And Marshall McCray puts it up to the end zone. Not the best thrown ball we've seen, but Arsenault goes up and high points it. And that big play that the Gryphons were looking for, they get it. 31-yard touchdown pass from Marshall McCray, and the Guelph Gryphons lead this one 15-14.
So the penalty, Warriors have had penalty issues at times earlier this season. Not so much today, but the late hit on McCray on 2nd down and 10 after they had forced McCray and the Guelph offense into a 2nd and long. That is a huge difference maker on that drive. Polished off by the long touchdown pass. It was up in the air, as you said, Jack, maybe a little longer than McCray and the Guelph offense would have liked. But it was a really good job of Arsenault to win the football once it was up there.
It's a lot of poise for a young quarterback coming into this offense, in and out in this second half, or in this game, hasn't gotten a ton of looks. And then at the start of the fourth quarter, Tristan Aboud can't go. You got to come in here, young man, and you got to go win us this football game. And Marshall McCray has now put the Guelph Gryphons in a position to win, up by 1 with 8:20 to go. Now Waterloo has to try and find something offensively.
Low lining kick. Dropped there by Sukar, but he'll pick it up. Sukar cuts it up. Sukar still on his feet. Justin Sukar! A big return out to the 40. Justin Sukar. A boost on special teams for Waterloo as the Warriors will get a good field position here to start to answer back.
Well, we've had a good game so far, both teams jabbing, trying to figure each other out, not a ton of touchdowns. But now it feels like as we roll into the middle of this fourth quarter, we might get some explosive plays with players worn down and teams just trying to fight for every inch to pick up the win with Guelph just up by 1. Should be a fun finish here, Adam.
1st and 10, or the handoff goes nowhere as stumbling was Anthony Miller on first down. Maybe got his feet tangled up with Orr.
Yeah, just not clean on that handoff. Anthony Miller goes down to the ground. Some backside pressure, but Miller gets that cleanly. He could had enough room to pick up 6 or 7 yards on that first down carry. All of a sudden, 2nd and 12 here for the Waterloo Warriors from their own 38-yard line.
2nd and 12, as you said, Jack. Orr doesn't like what he sees downfield, rolls. Orr will throw it down to the sideline. He's going to throw it away, rolling to his weak side, and that'll be an incomplete pass. Second down, so a 2 and out for Waterloo here as the Gryphons get some momentum.
Yeah, and Waterloo's going to have to punt this football away. Nicolor has to trust himself. Sukar was open over the middle at the start of that break. Nicolor didn't want to pull the trigger and then rolls out to his left, and nothing there. He's not getting much help from his receivers on the scramble drill, but a good job by this Guelph defense of staying positionally sound on the Nicolor scrambles.
7 minutes even to play and counting as Crossett will punt it away. It's a short kick. Fielded by Simon Guerin. Kyle Simon Guerin cuts back upfield over midfield. A big return from Guelph special teams by Kyle Simon Guerin. And the Gryphons with momentum. The visiting fans didn't have to travel far down Highway 7 or making noise here at Warrior Field.
Yeah, and Guelph starting in really good field positioning here at the 52-yard line.
It is still McCray at quarterback. Aboud now up, but not his helmet nowhere to be seen on the Guelph sideline. So McCray and the Gryphon offense. McCray will keep it. McCray cuts to the middle, still on his feet, pulled down. Gain of about 5 or 6 on first down. Good contain from the Warriors, but Jack, this is what you were talking about, spreading out the defense. That was pretty well played by Waterloo's defense. It was still a gain, they're going to say, of 7.
Well, Donovan Malloy has been effective running the ball up the middle in this second half, so you have to honor that. But then as you honor that, you're allowing Marshall McCray to get out of the pocket. Yeah, they gave him 7, so 2nd and 3 here for the Gryphons, putting themselves in really good position.
McCray pulls it and will go again. Lots of space for McCray. McCray still on his feet, pulled down at the 25. Ball maybe came out at the end.
They're going to mark him down at the 25, but again, that's a gain of 20 yards from Marshall McCray. And no Waterloo Warrior even honored the contain. They all crashed down for the handoff, but it's not Tristan Aboud in there. You have to respect that Marshall McCray can pull it down any time that he wants. And he gets all the way down to the Waterloo 25 on that carry. And we're seeing one of the young up-and-coming dynamic quarterbacks in the OUA having a big fourth quarter with his team up 1.
Handoff is to Malloy with a hole. Malloy down to about the 15. And this has been the story of this rivalry in recent years, Jack. The Warriors haven't beaten Guelph since 2005, but they've held fourth quarter leads 4 different times against Guelph, if you include this afternoon, and have not been able to close it out.
Well, and this is going to be the difference here. If the defense can force a field goal at this spot in the field, can they tighten up? Can Marshall McCray find the end zone for the 2nd time today? Remember, he's one of the best rushing touchdown players in the OUA this year.
McCray will keep. McCray to the outside. Can he cut it back upfield? Hinsberger's right with him. Oh, what a play by Hinsberger. McCray in the grasp. He can't get it away. James Hinsberger, an outstanding play to stick right with McCray. And a Warrior is shaken up. I think that's Ben Cartwright, the defensive back, who came up on the stop as well. Big play on first down from Hinsberger in the Warriors' defense.
Well, and that's what we talked about. Can Waterloo get a stop there and force a 2nd and long? That is difficult to see. Cartwright down on the field. Big part of the secondary, and holding Guelph to a field goal is obviously not ideal, but it is fine given the circumstances, because a field goal would put this into, you need a touchdown to take the lead.
4 minutes and 9 seconds to play here in a wild fourth quarter. We'll step away for a moment as Cartwright is tended to on the field. We'll be back after this. Back at Warrior Field. Adam McGuire and Jack Moore with you here as Guelph faces a 2nd down and 10. with the freshman Marshall McCray out of Niagara Falls, with one of his cousins on the sidelines in Tyrell Ford, Warrior defensive back, who's been helping out here after he was released by the Green Bay Packers. He would love to punch this one in, would McCray and the Gryphons. 2nd and 10, McCray to throw. McCray flushed out. McCray has room on the edge. Marshall McCray gone to the end zone, touchdown, Gryphons.
He's just so dynamic, and what a great job on the edge. Right tackle, Daniel Hosevar, and Laurent Paquin double teaming the defensive end of the Warriors on the right side. McCray doesn't like what he sees over the middle. He bounces it to the outside. Hosevar still holding on to his block, and Paquin just walked Marshall McCray into the end zone. 2 drives after taking over as the starting quarterback after Tristan Aboud goes down with injury. And Marshall McCray has 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. And all of a sudden, Adam, a 4-2 team who is 3 minutes and 50 seconds away from a victory, up by 8 against the Waterloo Warriors, going into a bye week, might have a bit of a quarterback controversy brewing.
Indeed, Marshall McCray has looked outstanding. That's his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. So with 3:50 to play, scoreboard still reads 21-14.
When we saw the roster, should be 22-14.
Should be 22. The extra point was good, so.
Yeah, it was 15-14. And then the extra point was good, so they added up to the scoreboard. So 22-14. But I said it going into training camp when the rosters were released. I thought it was Marshall McCray's job to lose. Tristan Aboud comes in, wins the job. I've liked what I've seen from Tristan Aboud. Not saying I don't. But everything I've seen in this game so far, Marshall McCray's been the one who's put Guelph in the best position to win.
From inside his own goal line, it's Justin Sukar. Sukar with another good return. Can Sukar get to the outside? He can. Justin Sukar, another big return to the 43. So 2 big returns from the veteran Sukar. They're going to mark him at the 42. About a 44-yard return maybe. With 3:39 to play, and Waterloo will need a major and a 2-point conversion to draw even here.
Well, and they're going to have to do something through the air, because all of a sudden, as effective as the ground game was and Waterloo in control, 2 touchdowns on 2 drives by Marshall McCray and the Guelph Gryphons offense, now you're down by 8 and you really haven't gotten anything going in the passing game.
It's a boot from Orr completes to Sukar. Oh no, Sukar dropped the ball.
Hit him in the chest and fell down to the ground. And that one's going to hurt for Sukar, who's such an important part of this offense for the Waterloo Warriors. And just how I said, Waterloo not getting anything going offensively in the pass game so far today. Nick Orr with beautiful misdirection, leading everybody to the counter play action to Anthony Miller to the boundary side, and then rolls out to his left and throws a perfect pass right in the chest of Justin Sukar, and the sure-handed Waterloo receiver can't catch it, and it's 2nd and 10 now for Waterloo with just over 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Would have been a gain of 15. Orr to throw again. Orr again. Pass is complete to Tierney, just short of the first down. He's going to be well short, 3 or 4 yards short of the first down. And if you're Waterloo, I think you have to go now. We're going to hit the 3-minute warning here. Zach Parmley down on a knee, the H-back. It's going to be a long 4, in fact.
Yeah, you know, I agree with you, though, Adam. I think you have to go for it because you have to give yourself as many chances to win this game as possible. How much do you trust your defense? And I think you ask Chris Bertoya, it's a lot. Is Parmley off to the Waterloo sideline? But you need a chance to win this game, and because you really haven't figured out that passing offense, this is the 3 minutes to do it in. spot on the field. You're not in automatic field goal range if you're Guelph. Remember, they missed a 25-yarder earlier in this game. So for Waterloo, if they can get a stop, or if they don't get a first down, if they can get a stop defensively, force it 2 and out, they'll get the ball back with minute 40 to go.
So third down and 4. Little misdirection. Orr pulls it. Orr wrapped up. Orr is down short of the line to gain. A third down stop by Guelph's defense.
Needed to cut that one up on the inside. Guelph had that outside leverage perfectly, and tell you what, Devin Cromwell is having a heck of a game defensively for this Guelph Gryphons team. Big hit earlier on Quentin Springer, big tackle on Nick Orr on the edge. Guelph takes over on the Waterloo 48. Right choice to go for it, but now Waterloo has to turn to their defense to either get a 2 and out or try and force a turnover after Marshall McCrae's been red hot in this fourth quarter.
McCrae hands off to Malloy. Bounding ahead for a gain of 3. On first down, 2:42 as the clock stops to set the ball. We talked about it earlier, Jack, the chances to score majors when you're down close to the end zone. Warriors have had 2 chances where they've only been able to convert them into 4 points. Guelph's last 2 trips have been touchdowns. McCrae to throw, and it's just in behind the intended recipient. I think it was Jacob Thomas, and that's a 2 and out that Waterloo desperately needed.
So the Gryphons have to punt this one away. They're on the 44. We have seen from Godaro 40-yard average in this game. How deep can he pin this Waterloo team here? Punt this one away.
Warriors have to get this out of the end zone because otherwise it turns the 1-possession game into a 2-possession game. Oh, it's a really good punt into the corner. And that's a single. It was a perfect punt out of the side of the end zone. No chance for the Warriors to return it. And that will make it 23-14. The hill got a lot steeper for Waterloo on that unbelievably clutch punt from Nicholas Gardiero.
Yeah, that was about a 40 or 54-yard punt. And I am in shock that the Warriors didn't go after that. Godaro caught it, looked up, nobody was coming at him, so he could slow down his steps and get into his motion properly. If you have guys coming at a guy who's proven to punt it 30 yards at points, you rush him and he probably can't get off that good of a punt.
Or to throw, or goes deep. Basiliga, is he there? Basiliga's got it! James Basiliga all the way down to the 10, and he's tackled at about the Guelph 6. Waterloo with their first big play through the air, and the Warriors have life.
First big play we've seen from this Waterloo offense. Massive throw by Nick Orr to James Basiliga. And you got to get this in the end zone quickly, or at least get the field goal quickly here if you're Waterloo. You got to put points on the board quick.
2:06 to play. Handoff is to Miller. Miller to the end zone. Touchdown, Warriors. So now if you're Waterloo, pardon me, Jack, you'll go for 1 here because you're down 3.
Well, based on how quick you got that touchdown, 2 minutes to go in the game, you can go for 1, kick this off normally. You have both your timeouts. If you're Chris Bertoya, that's why I mentioned you had to get the ball in the end zone fast. Anthony Miller just following his blocks. Waterloo trying to make it a 2-point game.
Bit of a low snap, but it's placed up and through. 23-21. A huge hookup from Orr to Basiliga. And Jack, how about this finish here? 23-21, the Warriors trail now with 2:01 left. Little conversation here from the Warriors sideline. Still says 23-20 on the clock. Now it's 21.
Well, remember, Waterloo did the onside kick at the beginning of the game. What I will say, if I'm in the position of special teams coordinator, or if I'm Chris Bertoya, I'm kicking this ball as far as possible if I'm Cole Crossett, because if your defense can get a stop deep in Guelph territory, you're taking over almost automatically in Cole Crossett field goal range. So you need to get him to get a big boot on this one. I don't want to give Guelph a short field because a punt pins you back deep in your own end.
6 Griffs up right on the 50-yard line. Trying to guard against if there is any trickery here. You would think that Crossett's going to kick it deep. He doesn't. It's a short one. Ball is loose, but it's going to be eaten up by the Gryphons at the 50-yard line of Guelph. It's another short field for Guelph.
Like a 45-yard punt puts Waterloo at their own 15-yard line if Guelph gets no yards right now. I just don't understand why you would onside kick there with 2 minutes to go and 2 timeouts. I understand that Marshall McCray adds a dynamic offense, but if you can get a stop on first down, try and force them to a pass. Marshall McCray has proven in this game that he's not the most accurate passer.
Yeah, missed an open receiver on 2nd and 10 the last possession, so it is first down from the Gryphons at their own 50. McCray will pull it. McCray with some pressure. McCray to the sideline, and a gain of 6 maybe on first down. I'm going to call it a gain of 5 right at midfield, maybe just past the midfield marker.
Well, and he stepped out of bounds too, so this clock won't start until the ball snaps. So a de facto timeout for Waterloo. So if they can get a stop here, only have to burn one of your timeouts if you're Chris Bertoya. But again, you got to get outside leverage on Marshall McCray. Kalen Fraser came on the inside hip. He's got to get outside him, not allow him to get to that part of the field. Allow the guys inside him to rally to the football and make a tackle earlier than 6 yards down the field.
2nd down and a long 4. McCray pulls it again. McCray in trouble. McCray still on his feet. Oh my word, Marshall McCray's going to break it. Marshall McCray, can he get to the first down? Ball is out. Warriors have it. Fumble from McCray. The Warriors have the football. Diego Arenas with the strip. James Hinsberger with the recovery.
That might be one of the craziest plays I've seen. Marshall McCray dead to rights and pulling an older cousin Trey, getting away in the backfield. And then he was slowing himself down. He was doing the right thing. He was trying to give himself up, but he was still moving forward. They ruled it a fumble. No video review in the OUA. And Waterloo takes over on their own 50, down 2 with 102 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. What a game.
Unbelievable 4th quarter here. Flag is flying as the pass is connected here to Tierney near side. And it looks like it's offside on Guelph.
Well, I'm taking this penalty if I'm the Warriors. It was a gain of 6, would put you 2nd and 4, or you can have 1st and 5.
Yeah, it's got to be 1st and 5 if you're Waterloo. Yeah, the back to the McCray fumble, Jack. Very close to in the grasp, but it's so hard to know what is happening, right?
Well,
for an official to make that call, to still be trying to plow ahead to the first down marker, right? The marker plays a point in that as well.
I'm assuming people who are fans of football, used to the NFL, NCAA, CFL, where you get video review, we don't get that here, so we don't get second looks.
Handoff is to Miller. Miller with some space. Miller down to the Guelph 44-yard line, inching closer and closer to the field goal range of Cole Crossett.
I'll tell you what, a little bit of wind at his back, I think you're almost there, right? Like you're 51 yards from here. You got to massage this clock. You got to work this down if you're Waterloo, but you can't get too conservative because You do need a field goal to take the lead, so you are still trying to get as many yards as possible. But you're not in a big hurry here if you're Waterloo.
Yeah, Anthony Miller over 200 with that last carry. Miller again makes a cut, and Miller on first down. Still no whistle as Miller gains about 7 yards on first down. And that play, Jack, went on a little longer than we were accustomed to.
Yeah, he got scrummed up and was getting some help from his offensive lineman to push it forward, but it did seem like the offensive forward progress had stopped as we get under a minute to go. But again, you're 45 yards away. Guelph has 2 timeouts. It's an interesting battle you're playing here with the clock and the yardage to get Cole Crossett in comfortable range.
Handoff again to Miller. Miller, first down Waterloo. That's a huge first down for the Warriors. Guelph's going to likely have to, no, they're not going to take a timeout. They're going to move the sticks.
They do take a timeout now. I was signaling to you if I'm Ryan Shane, I'm taking a timeout right now because you have 2 to burn, but you have to get your defense to get stops. And this is, we talked about it before the last drive where Waterloo really hadn't opened up the passing game. But now we get to the point where Waterloo as a team, almost 300 yards of rushing in this game. Anthony Miller over 200. This is where that rushing attack takes effect because you are in a position to win the football game right now. Even though the scoreboard is in favor of Guelph, if I'm Chris Bertoya, how much confidence do you have in Cole Crossett at the moment to make a 38-yard field goal? I would say it's pretty high. The likeliness of him making that field goal is pretty high. I can live and die on that if I'm Chris Bertoya. The kicker that I have, the trust I've had in him over the years that he's been there, I have that trust in my kicker. I can live and die with not trying to force this into the end zone and trying to work this clock down as much as possible to put my team in a position to win this football game.
But boy, a chip shot would be the most appealing option here with no time on the clock. Warriors are going to try to get one. Here comes Anthony Miller. Miller with a first down to the 20. Right at the sticks to the 21. They're going to say it is a first down with 37.3 seconds left.
Well, and interesting to see where Guelph takes this next time out because Waterloo doesn't have to snap this ball until about 18 seconds. Now, if I'm Chris Bertoya, my next look after that happened, I go to Cole Crossett. Where do you want the ball? Right half, left hash, or do you want it down the middle of the field? And then I tell that to my offense as they're on the field. They won't snap this for another 6-7 seconds.
Well, they snap it early and they give it to Miller. Miller up over the 15 to the 14-yard line. Well, they'll mark it right at the 16. Guelph still not calling their last time out here with 20.3 seconds left.
Well, and this is interesting because if I'm Waterloo, I take this down to about 10 seconds. Actually, I like the spot on the field that it's at. This clock starts. You take this down to 5 seconds.
And to leave no time left for yourself is the peculiar part here, not to call the timeout. I don't understand why
Guelph isn't taking a timeout. And Chris Bertoya walking out onto the field, calling a timeout. 4 seconds to go in the game. Guelph calls a timeout there at 20 seconds. They're forcing Waterloo to run a play. Now I understand they could, if you get the stop on second down, they don't get the first down. They can't take it all the way down and call a timeout.
So if my math is right here, Jack, it'll be a 23-yard field goal try.
Yeah, I would say 22. So this should be 23 because the ball's on the 16. You're 7 yards.
Yeah, 23-yard field goal attempt with 4.3 seconds left. Cole Crossett to win the game for the Warriors.
What a game.
Waddell the snapper. James Basiligo the holder. The kick is up. The kick is through. Flag is down on the field. There's a flag down. Cole Crossett has, for the moment, won the game for Waterloo. Where is the call? Will he have to kick it again? There's a Warrior down. They're going to pick up the flag. The kick is good. The Warriors have won. Oh, there's 0.1 seconds left on the time. Okay. So the Warriors will have to make sure they defend against any trickery here from Guelph. Up 24-23. Still a 0.1 second left. Jack, how do you play this now?
Well, this is where you have, Guelph can elect to take this on their own 35.
I think that'll be what they do. You'd have to assume.
No, because inside 3 minutes.
Right.
So Waterloo has to kick off.
And look who's on the kick return team for Guelph. It's number 1, the quarterback. Oh,
Well, no, Ryan Shane put out his offense. I think he was trying to sneak one past the refs because there were a couple refs asking him what he wanted to do. Inside 3 minutes has to be a kickoff. So what I'm doing here, sky kick, moonshot, whatever you call it, I'm getting it as high as possible, allowing my team to get down the field and making them field it because the clock starts when the ball's caught. But if you're Guelph, you have to pick up the ball because Waterloo can recover it after it goes 10 yards. So I'm not squib kicking it 10 yards down the field. I'm kicking it high up in the air and forcing Guelph to get under it and catch and try some laterals to try and win this game.
24-23, 0.1 second. It's a squib. Horn is sounded. Football is still loose. And the Warriors will pick it up and run it in for a touchdown. It's over. The Warriors win. Keyshawn Bowen. No, it was Kalen Fraser, 48. So I don't know if the ball was down or not. It's academic. The Warriors have come back to defeat the Gryphons in what was an outrageous football game, Jack Moore, at Warrior Field.
Yeah, we got a good one here today, Adam. Big win for the Warriors. First win in 18 years against the Guelph Gryphons. Come from behind. Marshall McCray put himself on the map to say, hey, I'm a guy that can be effective in this league. He gave Guelph 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But a big play to James Basiliga that was finished off by Anthony Miller, who had a monster game on the ground. And then that Waterloo rushing attack that was so dominant all day long got the Warriors deep into Guelph territory that set up the 23-yard chip shot for Cole Crossett. And the Waterloo Warriors moved to 2-3. The Guelph Gryphons dropped to 3-3. And the middle of the OUA just got so much more interesting. And with that max score against U of T, Waterloo has put themselves in a good position to make the playoffs here, Adam.
Yeah, Waterloo's 3 remaining competitors on the schedule, all teams in that same range with them, with the exception of the Carleton Ravens. They've got Toronto and Mac coming up here in the next 2 weeks. So, lots to be decided in the OUA. The Warriors get the Guelph monkey off their back of recent years. Let's not forget the defensive play by Diego Arenas, the forced fumble at midfield that set up the last drive for Waterloo.
I also want to point out that there is definitely a quarterback controversy brewing at Guelph. Tristan Aboud gets hurt. Marshall McCray comes in and proves that he can do it. Obviously had the fumble that set up that game-winning drive for the Waterloo Warriors. But I think over this next bye week for Guelph, they have some decisions to make at the quarterback spot. What's going to put them in the best possible situation to make the playoffs? Now sitting at 500 with Carleton and Queens still on their schedule.
Well, how about that fourth quarter? The final will be 30-23. They are going to count the touchdown. It was a live ball still, and Kalen Frazier scooped and scored on the squib kick. So the Warriors win 30-23. And you will not find a more entertaining fourth quarter than that, Jack. So lots to be decided in the OUA. It is the eve of October, and every team is alive. It was a beauty here. 30-23 the final for Jack Moore. My name's Adam McGuire. Good afternoon from Warrior Field.